Thanks to anybody watching the replay, since nobody
Yo,
joined us
yo.
fast. Also, today I'm going to be preoccupied with a draft, a fantasy football draft, so Max is going to drive even more so than normal, even though Max does pretty much all the talking today anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you can see my screen right now, but I'm trying to mess with
I'm
some
sharing your
LPs.
screen. You show
I'm
off the
messing.
boss fighter stuff too, maybe, since you're trying to sell that
Yeah,
while we're
I'll
waiting for
check
people
that
to get
out.
in. It is
Yeah,
pretty
let me
wild
know
how
when it's.
valuable that stuff is that, I don't know, kind of just bought on a whim to be able to play it. And then we'll see if the floor sells, but the floor for those like skins we got is pretty fucking nuts for I think we spent
Yeah.
like $10 or
20?
$20 on it and like
Yeah,
the
20
floor is like
tops.
100 and
Maybe
something.
15. Let's go. Here, I'll show you what we're talking about. Boom. I have this thing listed, and I think it's listed at the floor price for this Alpha Fighter Uncommon. Let's see. I'll show you. I'm still kind of new to this, so if I go to my collection, here's what I got. These ones I'm just keeping. I actually don't know if this is worth anything. Alpha Boss Pass. I haven't actually checked, but we'll check in a second. And then here's what I'm listing for sale right now. And like this mystery box I got from playing Big Time back in the day. I just didn't realize I had it. And then these two guys I got airdropped as part of like the airdrop for the early gaming. And so you can see I have this epic alpha striker shark skin for the rocket launcher, and this uncommon alpha fighter skin. And look at the floor of these things is nuts. If we go to, all right, I scroll up here, marketplace, NFT marketplaces, and then look at, let's look at boss siders. You can see, so you can see I have this guy who's selling for 18 and this one for 3, which isn't like that crazy, which is still basically everything I paid for this. But then look, here is the uncommon alpha fighter. The floor is $150. Like my listing is the floor listing right here at 150, and then they go up from there. And they do sell for that. You can see here's like, 100, some for 60, some for 50, but like constantly. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that people actually have money from like Big Time in these marketplaces. Take a look at also. Let's go back and look at my gun skin. Let's show more. Here it is, the Alpha Striker Shark, 4250, and I think again that's my listing. Yeah, there it is, 4250 is me, mint 19, which I can see by going to my collection and looking in listed items. Here, mint 19. So that's my listing. It's crazy. And then yeah, this mystery box also is just like I listed it at the floor, and the floor is $355, which is insane to me. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. I hope this sells, because especially if it sells like in the next day or so, and I get $300, then I might actually try to buy one of those boxes from the drop for the boss fighters game, because I like playing boss fighters, and I definitely would buy some more of these skins for my boss, like the VR character skins, especially because they're so cheap comparatively, but they're also a lot less unique. Here, let's see this Alpha Boss Pass I also have. I'm curious if that sells for anything. Let me go back to this market and see. Boss Fighters. Let's see. Pass. No one even lists the pass. Maybe I should list it. Yeah, I guess I don't know what to do with it anyway, so I'll list it for something stupid like $250 or something and see what happens.
Which one?
So, this Alpha Boss Pass.
I thought those weren't sellable.
Oh, are they not? Let's see. Move to marketplace
Maybe you can
items
find.
is what I can.
I
So
thought
once
I
I've
remember
moved
those
it,
being like bound to your account, but maybe they're not.
rare marketplace items. Yep. So now that they're in the marketplace, let's see. Yeah, I don't think you can sell these. This cannot be sold, it says. Well, still dope. Oops. I wonder if this other one also cannot be sold. No, it cannot be sold. So let me go back to these marketplace items and move these back to in-game items. Move to in-game items. There we go. Now they're back in my in-game items wallet. And then so it's weird. There's like different wallets, I guess, or different like locations you can find in your collection for marketplace. Active listings is separate from that, and then rentals, which I haven't even seen. Because honestly, I don't know if like 150. If someone buys it for 150, cool. But if I can just rent this thing out for like 5 cents at a time or whatever, I'd do that too. So people who don't have a skin can like use the skin. But I don't know how the rentals thing works. It's just a cool concept.
I don't know if anybody actually uses that.
All right. Maybe later. NFT marketplace. But here, look at the big time one too. I have a. What was that called? It was like a VIP or something. Mystery box. There it is. This with the exclusive mystery box. The minimum I listed mine at was the floor, so 355. There's only one other one for 369, and then the price jumps to $1,000. And looking at the price like history on this, people have spent 349 was the last one that sold, 300, 250, 275. But then like the further back you go, they definitely have gone for hundreds of dollars just constantly.
I wonder
375,
I wonder how many are actually left though, because I think they burn when you open them. There's like 2,000 total, but I wonder how many it actually is.
Yeah, let's see. Max supply 2,000. It doesn't really tell you the burn metrics. Oh, here's rental listings. Let's see. Oh, rent for $10 for 7 days.
You can look like you have a cool armor for a week.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I wouldn't pay $10 for it, but maybe like 10 cents. Especially because it seems like the rental is all like handled through the back end is like on the open loot end, so it's not like they can steal it from you. I assume.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It seems like there's only the one thing in here.
I don't think that people really rent very often.
Yeah, but it's cool. I still have yet to see that. Like, I know that like there is platforms that are building on Wax to do this, but I've still yet to see like a rental NFT thing with a like economy and demand around it. Still cool. Close out of that. I do hope this sells. Maybe I should drop my price to like 325 or something. Although I don't know. I feel like the last one sold for 300, I think.
How long ago?
349. 4 months ago, though. Yeah, it's been a minute, so maybe I need to drop my price if I want it to actually sell. Then again, there's also only like a very few of these listed, and the floor jumps to 1,000. So whatever. I'm not in a hurry. I didn't even know I had this until like we started playing Boss Fighters the other day. So
I feel like if you listed it for like significantly under that, it'd probably sell fast. But I don't know how every 4 months someone's buying it for $300. Who knows how long that'll take?
Right. I guess if I list it for 250, I wonder if it'd sell.
You undercut a guy pretty little, right?
Yeah, 369 is the next guy up, so I'm only undercut by like $20.
I feel like if somebody wanted to buy it for that much, they would have bought that one.
Yeah, I guess I could just set it to 300 and see, because that's what the drop is for the next thing. Let's see. I guess if I want to try that, I'm curious. I've never actually tried adjusting price on an open listing. So I go to my collection, active listings. This is my listing. Let's see. View listing. I might have to cancel it and then relist it, huh? Oh, here you go. 355. No. That'd be hilarious if you rent it out and then someone rents it and opens it. Okay, I might have to like, what's that called? I might have to cancel the listing, cancel the sale, and then redo it. Confirm.
What's going on?
Okay.
Tissues, Optic Red Room, Winterfell. I also
there it goes.
I just started the Crittercraft, so you guys are gonna have to redo your exclamation point neons if you want to join. I also think, Max, you should turn back on echo cancellation because I can hear myself through your setup.
Okay.
Turned off all that yesterday so we could hear your game audio.
Yeah.
In the
let me
Discord
do
set,
that.
Discord audio, voice and video, and then there's like,
Setting.
you scroll down, it has echo cancellation and noise suppression. I turned yours to none and echo cancellation off. I think you should do crisp and then yes.
Yeah, let me do that now.
Might have also turned off the automatic gain control. I don't know.
There we go. Okay, I see it. So adjust it to here. There we go. Okay, I think you shouldn't hear it. I might have been too aggressive though. 1 second. Okay, now, yeah, try saying something. I don't think it should hear your echo.
Check. Yeah, now we're good.
No, yeah,
Discord
that
has
looked good.
pretty great like audio settings built in, but those settings when you were sharing your game audio so I could hear it through the stream, like it was like compressing those because it like couldn't tell what was background noise and what was your game noise. So I had to turn them off for game streaming.
I see.
I have them off on mine too, so like when I play the YouTube videos for that day, you can hear it correctly. But if you're just talking, you definitely want them on.
Let's see. There we go. And now I can reset my pricing here. I want to sell for. Let's just do 300 flat, maybe. Market fee's $15, so I'd get 285. Maybe I want 315 then. Damn it, 315.50. Damn it, I'm trying to get exactly 300 at least, so I can end up getting. Let's do this, 75. Oh my god, it's still 9. Okay, here we go. How about 8? Yeah, there we go. 301. Okay. Yes. Oh, I have to use my Authy. That's not a bad idea to have 2FA on something like this. Okay, here we go. Let's see if you can. There we go. Boom. Success. Item listed. So now active listings. Yep, there it is. All right, we'll see if it sells. I mean, I'm undercutting the next guy by like $50. It's not like insane, but a pretty good amount now. We'll see. I also want to take a look here at my super tight, super low fee LS wax pool. This one's not incentivized, but I want to see how much like volume I can get in this pool.
Oh, isn't today the day we restake?
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet.
I thought you had because it was already at like 10%.
Nope, somebody else did.
Shit. Let's see if this. Okay, here. I'm back here now. So I'm going to wax on edge. And then I want to see, I think I have here, liquid staked wax. Let's swap half of this.
Thank you for the follow.
Swap it.
Purple Glitch 6.
Alright, I'm using my Ledger wallet here to confirm. See, it'll be like, you want to confirm? Yes. Confirm. Swapped. Here, if we go to 1 minute, we can probably see my. Let's see. Here we go. I'm gonna refresh this page. I'm curious if I did any volume just from that one swap. Nothing yet. Okay, that's good. Because that means I can still match my liquidity. There we go. All right. And this is just for fun. I'm testing some stuff out again. The idea is that I'm creating a pool that has way lower fees. The average pool is 0.3%, and I'm doing 0.05%. And trying to make some liquidity that's relatively narrow, not like crazy narrow. This time I'm at 4% wide. But this should make this pool available before it pulls from the other pool pretty much every time. So I wonder if it'll but yeah, you can see here I have the most is in this range, similar range, 2 to 2, 2.5-ish. And I have like 5,000 on both sides of that one right now. That's the one I stake. That's one you can see here is the 0.3%. Now let's see. Farm this. Farm's paying 10%, but that's probably going to change in a minute when Lewis comes and stakes his. I'm 9% of this pool. I'm pretty sure this is going to drop to like, I don't know, 3 or less when Lewis adds. Lewis has a pretty big stake.
I'll have to do it in a second. My draft picks are coming around in this draft, so I have to do those. And then I have another like 40 minutes until I draft again.
Nice. And then I am over here still on Wax on Edge, dicking around. I think I've already claimed some of my. Oh, I also split. I don't know if anyone else is in the Rook LS Wax pool. I split some of that into Taco as well, because Taco has a Rook LS Wax pool that was paying about the same APR now that I added to it. It was like 200 something percent, but now it's down to like 130, and so this is also about 130, I think. Close anyway, 120. Let's see. All these pools are still paying really well. 500% on this guy still. And I still have 37 waxing here. This one's been cooking. And then my FTW pool is paying 300 and 275% is pretty fat. Pretty fat. This one's getting a little closer to like, I might switch into farming something that I'm more interested in, because these tokens I have been just kind of dumping after participating initially. So I might have to look to rotate into something like maybe this with a 500%. That's like 5x the APR. And I would say similar risk, I guess, because they're all kind of like tokens that I don't really know about. But for now, let me just jump over here really quick, and I want some more FTW now that it's a little cheaper here after a couple of sales happened. Let's see, I'm keeping the LS Wax so I can keep topping up that pool. But the Rook that I just made, this is a good one to farm my own meme coin with. Swap it. So I'm using Wax on Edge, which is kind of routing trades for me. If you're not familiar with this, it's like a trade aggregator on Wax. And you can see, it finds you a path. Like here, it's doing Rook into LS Wax into FTW, Rook into Wax, and then Rook into Wax. And it's doing that between both Alcor and Taco in all-in-one transaction. Really dope. So I'm just going through here and trying to stock up on. Let's see. Oh, and I have 100 million Woof I still need to do something with. Oh, you know what? I know what I'll do with this. Might as well show it off here. Wax. DAO has some farms where you can stake Woof for PXJ, I think. So I'm going to do that. I don't know if I want to hold on to the Woof paired with Wax right now, after it took such a big drop. If it like rebounds, then I want to hold on to the WOOF and maybe buy back into Wax at a bigger price. So I basically pulled the Wax, like a decent amount of my WOOF Wax from the Wax WOOF LP, similar to what we did with the DeFi wallet last week. And I used that to basically the Wax side of that I just turned into LS Wax and LSW liquidity, and then the WOOF side of it I still just have sitting in my wallet right now, and so that's what I'm gonna take it and stake it. That way, it is still earning something, but not exposed to any other asset. It's only WOOF. So that way, like if WOOF price rebounds in terms of Wax and pumps nicely, then I still have 106 million, and it doesn't sell into Wax on the way up, especially with the APR being not crazy high. So
I'm going to stake in this
here.
pool.
Let's say I'm going to go to token.
I have to manually unstake, right, for the ones that ended?
You don't have to. You can just stay staked in those.
Can you say it takes the RAM, though, unless...
I think, yeah, it does. So if you unstake, it does, like, remove it. But you can just go and at the top, click, like, stake unstaked position.
Does it have 27% of the share?
Nice. I had 9.7, so watch. If I refresh now, it's probably going to drop.
If I go to finished, I can do claim and unstake all.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see what I get from it. I wonder, because I didn't collect my rewards when I restake it each time. Let's see what I got for 2 weeks.
Waiting for the reload here. I'm already logged in over here.
On the Lewis wallet, just Lewis by itself. What? 100 liquid stake Wax. Not bad for 2 weeks of rewards.
Right? Not bad at all. 100 fucking Wax.
Slightly more because it's liquid stake.
Yeah. So that's on top of everything else that like is automatically compounding into that way. Here we go. I'm gonna stake. How much do I have? Oh, this isn't the right. I logged into the wrong wallet. So say log out. Log in. Here, if you're still sharing my screen, what I did was went to Wax DAO.
Yeah, we're on your screen. It says you're signing something in the anchor right now.
Yeah, perfect. So here, if you go to like this page here on the Wax DAO farms, I went to browse to look through the farms, and there is a farm here where you can stake WOOF. So I looked at the details of that. It's still going until January 14th, 2025, so it's still cooking for a while. There's already 5.7 million or billion WOOF in here, so it's quite a bit. I'm not expecting to get anything, but it's better than like just sitting on the WOOF idle. So I'm gonna come here and stake my 105 million. And so let's do this. And then here I'll show you there's a way with these farms. I wish this was like a tab rather than a secondary like thing, but you can kind of see what everyone else is staking in that farm by clicking the details here. You see how it says the name of the farm and then by the wallet that created it. So you can see that Pixel Journey is the wallet that created this farm. But if you click on the name of the farm, it takes you to a separate like I don't know, interface for specifically that farm. And then here there's a leaderboard tab. And so now here you can see 105 million, that's me. So I'm now, this place on the leaderboard. FTW also holds like a portion of its protocol liquidity or of the project liquidity. Basically of just some WOOF tokens that will eventually be given away as reward. They're just being held here for now, rather than sitting in the wallet idle. So now I can come here, if I can go to claim, and you can see I've already earned like a tiny amount of PXJ. If I refresh this, that amount is going up in real time. You can kind of claim that in. So that's a kind of the fun here. If I go back here, there you can see 0.08 PXJ. Nothing to write home about, but hey, better than it just sitting in my wallet. I can always, unstake the woof anytime I want to. And since there is no counterpart to that woof stake, uh, I don't hate that kind of approach here to holding woof in the Wax block. The other thing I like is you can come here and browse your farms and see what other stuff is available for things that you maybe have. Like here's one that says stake a Wax, but you have to then click like more details, and you can see this one's already expired. But people do come and make all these farms here. Like here's the FTW farm I made here too. So like you can stake your FTW tokens here, and that's still cooking till next year as well. But there's a lot of like, here's another stake woof, stake PXJ if you have PXJ, and then that one earns you more PXJ. I don't know. These are all like, they're not really advertising an APR, but some of them do produce pretty like substantial APRs. So it is worth kind of like scrolling through here and taking a look at what people are offering for stake pools at the moment. And this one where you can stake woof, I don't hate, especially if I'm just sitting on the woof idle in my wallet. And since I was doing that a second ago, I might as well drop it in there. And like I said, now if price recovers into Wax, I can always come back, unstake it, and then sell some of it into Wax at a better price for Wax than it currently is, and get back into the LP farm for a potentially higher reward. But for now, I wanted to protect some of my Wax side. I didn't want it to buy more woof on the way down, so I'm just going to take what I have and park it in this farm. And then I guess, again, the way to get there is from tools, token farm creator is what I clicked, which took me to this page under the create tab. And then I just went over to the browse tab to find all those farms. And then once you're actually staked in a farm, you can hit staked only, and then it'll actually show you the farms that you're in. So you can see now that I'm staked to this farm, it's showing me this farm. And if I want to come and claim my rewards, with that, I'm already at 0.24 PXJ token. That's 0.24 more than I had if I had just continued to sit on my woof. Not saying that, this is a huge APR and, worth the while to go like move stuff around and into it. But if you do have just woof sitting there doing nothing, maybe. Also, I don't really know what PXJ is other than like it's part of like Pixel Journey, and I don't have any, and I don't want to buy any, but I have some woof. So this might be a way for me to build a little PXJ position too. This is kind of a fun thing. Okay. But I can mess with my own woof later. Let's look at what's going on in the crypto market this week. And take a look at what we want to do with our own crypto.
Pika says Pixel Journey is my project. We got project creator in the chat again.
Yeah, so yeah, you can see there is a way that you can get involved in start accumulating Pixel Journey tokens without actually exposing anything other than the woof you potentially already have. There's a little farm for that, right? I think is really cool. Also, Pixel Journey is consistently, if we go to analytics, Pixel Journey is consistently one of the top like 10 biggest volume tokens and has deep liquidity depth pairing with it. So aside from understanding what the use case and burn scenarios are for the PXJ token, it definitely is, a top part of the Wax, DeFi ecosystem for sure. I think I actually like the analytics over here on Wax on Edge a little better if we go to statistics. Kind of get a sense of what the top trading token pairs are. We go to statistics. Here we go. I'll let this load for just a second. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, there you go. PXJ number 6, even bigger than both of the liquid staked Wax derivatives as far as 7-day volume, I think is what these are organized by. But you can get a sense of like, here, if we click on it, it breaks this up really nicely. It breaks this down rather really nicely. You can see over 1 million Wax in liquidity in TVL, and then pair liquidity 1.7 million. So this is cumulative across all the assets that are paired against PXJ, but like this is deep liquidity for a Wax pair for sure. And yeah, either way, cool. If you ever were curious about it, like it definitely exists at a pretty decent scale on Wax, and there's ways to expose yourself to it, like these farms, that simply involve, parking some Woof tokens, or, if you want to grab some PXJ, there looks like there's a farm here that is also still going till next month, mid next month. So that you could basically park some Woof here, claim the PXJ, and then stake the PXJ here to compound what you've earned with some more earning. That kind of stuff is really fun. And I think in the future there'll be like automated compounding like services that let you do this type of stuff more on autopilot. But for now, it's definitely worth like keeping your eye on these farms and, watching what people put up. Especially like I said, with PXJ, for example, it's made by, you can see who's making it, and it's the Pixel Journey wallet, so you can see it's the project. Both these farms are made by the project itself, so you can kind of get a sense of like, compare that to my FTW farm, which is not made by the FTW wallet, because it was just like a effect here. It's made by First.FTW, which is it's my hot wallet, but that has nothing to do with the like main wallet. It's just my wallet. So like anybody can make farm, which is also fun. But just pointing it out. Let's jump back over to take a look at what the market's looking like. So I'm on Bitcoin's daily chart here.
Giga Pika is also saying that on many days we're nearly 20% of all of Wax's network DeFi volumes.
Yeah, PXJ is a pretty like, it's paired with so many different assets, and like basically when anything moves on Wax, like PXJ sees volume because it's part of like all of the parent. That, and it also has a huge like incentive program. If you look on like Taco Swap here, I guess we can use visual aids while I'm talking about it. If we look on like the farms tab on Alcor, for example, PXJ pairs that see not staked only, that see liquidity incentives are extensive. Like there's many pairs, not just on Alcor, but also then on Taco Swap, which I guess I can pull up Taco Swap. For some reason, it wasn't like letting me log swap earlier. But here, if I go to meal, I don't really have to log in to see the opportunities that are incentivized for PXJ liquidity. And that, like I said, it's not just happening on one exchange. It's basically all of the major exchanges on Wax, and not just the Wax pair, but like PXJ, but a ton of pairs with many different. Like there's 1.3 billion Woof in the Woof pair. That's a ton of Woof. 50 million. Was it 50 million paired against 200,000 Wax? Like that's just these top three are like fat pools, but then you can see, you can scroll down, all of these other campaigns that are paired with PXJ, and not all of them are PXJ incentivized. Like these ones have like multiple projects incentivizing, which is really cool. But yeah, obviously a lot of them are PXJ incentive. So it's definitely fun to see this. Part of the dynamic here is you see all of the APRs. This is anyone who's farming these tokens is earning like the tokens are being distributed this way, and so it is like an inflation, but the inflation is being paid to people supporting the liquidity ecosystem. So it's definitely an interesting approach. We'll see how it like plays out, but I like PXJ, just see it part of the ecosystem. It's definitely on the list of like the next assets I'm trying to add to my FTW liquidity base, which right now is like Wax, liquid staked Wax, Index token. If you remember Index token, that's just another like that's another Wax exposure like asset. I can show you really quick the hey, here, I guess I talked about it on stream a while ago, but like people probably forgot. It's called Wax Tools. Tools.net is a Wax basically like automated like trading bot where it indexes the bot's profit into a token. And so if you wanted to give the bot some wax to participate in this, you can come here to swap, and then you can see yield farming has quite a bit of index right now. That's also my wallet here. And then FTW has a decent, I'm about to send FTW once it vests, since FTW is going to end up owning this. But what this is then, here, I guess we can find like the dashboard. I'll show us an overview. Here, so this is the index token in terms of wax. When it first launched, it was one index token for one wax. As it like uses arbitrage bots and trading to generate, and I guess a little bit of staking. You can see here the trade bot holds about 85% of all the wax, and there's almost 10% of it looks like it's being index liquidity, and this is staked. 3.3% of it is staked. And so, yeah, you can see it'll trade and then it'll take what it's earning in wax and use that to buy back the index token. So then it distributes basically what the trade bot is making in wax into the index token itself, which is a cool concept. So as far as like I wanted a base of liquidity that has, its roots in wax exposure. So my first base was wax, liquid stake wax, LSW. So there you go. I have all those are just wax. But now there's, they're wax plus a derivative. So there's now, potentially arbitrage opportunities between all those pools. The fourth pool that came to mind for me for wax exposure was index. So that's what this one is. This has been cooking along. If you're unfamiliar, you can come to Alcor's trades spot market, and you can see index has been around for a while too, and you can see how it's formed here since here we can set this to the daily chart. You can see mostly it's like the bot is just buying itself back. Excuse me. But you can see this chart goes back to here. It starts in March 2022. So you can see this one's been cooking along for a while, just kind of like doing its thing. Obviously, you get a little bit of these wicks, and that would be if individuals are coming to buy this token from the Alcor swap or the Alcor swap market. That like here, there isn't necessarily deep liquidity there. If you do want to source an amount of index tokens that is more than a couple thousand wax worth, you would have to go to the actual swap here, because if you do this swap, this is not swapping through Alcor. This is like part of the index's like project owned marketplace, and so it has its own kind of like liquidity pool that maintains the index token peg, which you can also see here. So you're expecting to make about 19.3% annually rather than holding wax. So again, similar to like liquid stake wax or something, it's like wax plus a distribution derivative kind of like value thing. Whereas unlike liquid stake wax, the value comes from trade bot activity versus from from like stake rewards. But yeah, little tangent achieved. Let's get back at looking at the crypto market. So we're looking at Bitcoin right now. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin. And you see, last week we were seeing it. We got this kind of big deviation, and we're expecting us to kind of like, looking back at the weekly chart here, we were expecting to, we were watching last week, then the close happened. We're like, well, we're still a little above here, but we can, we need to close above our support band for the weekly to basically recapture this. Last week's candle finished up and ended up closing below here. If we zoom all the way in, you can see the body of the candle closing below the wick of the previous candle. This weekly close is then closes as bearish. This week again, we're now looking for a continuation of the bearish trend. You can see, you connecting, like literally looking right at the chart, and it's like it's connected. But you can see we're also like, here's the last wick from like when we got our first big sell off, and then we're kind of bouncing. You can see we're starting to like make a little bit of a lower there. So then again, it feels like if we're looking at the weekly lower high, lower low trend, we're still continuing that, where this is the like high, This is the first kind of like low. This is the next lower high. So you can see the peak here, lower than the previous peak. The next low being a lower low again than the previous low. The next high peak here, lower than the previous peak. So another lower low. The next drop here, especially considering these wicks, forming another lower high, lower low, and then you can see this is already, rejecting right at the band and continuing that trend of like forming a lower high again. So this is potentially pushing us down into lower lows in the coming week still. Let's go a little further out. The month. We do have room to move down to monthly support on the bull trend here. And bounce there and move higher, but that would still look like a short term, next month or so, dropping down, likely retesting similar levels as this wick. So that recent dump we got, where we touched basically 50K, 49 or something like that. For Bitcoin, it's reasonable to potentially then retest that level again before finding support, on the monthly what would become higher low. So you could see as we've been moving the monthly up. So as the monthly started breaking out and forming our first higher high than the previous, dropping off, this then being the first time it's like, okay, it's making a higher low. So confirming that kind of high into our breakout, which then created our higher high, hit new all-time highs. And now on the monthly, we'd be looking for a confirmation of that continued bull trend, which would materialize in a higher low, which again we would still be able to see even if we drop to the monthly band. That would keep in a bullish trend, still be par for the course here, which means we have room to move down to like $46,000 in Bitcoin, which is still, since we're at 58 right now, that's a pretty big drop. So in the short to medium term, we still have room to move further down. The weekly had been oversold for a while, and we've been chopping. Like you can see, these candles are big, and volatility has been kicking up. So there is a bit of like that feeling of that uncertainty in the market, which is materializing in more volatility, which is more dramatic price action in both directions, not just down. And so we are still seeing that. We're still not out of the woods here. Definitely the weekly, like the monthly has that like a decent amount of room down. The weekly seems to be signaling more bearish closes in the last week's close, as well as the fact that we're dramatically below our strength band here, our support band on the weekly. And then zooming all the way into the daily chart, we're getting a similar kind of like, we formed a lower low. You can see much clearer here. That's the lower low. This will be potentially our lower high. Now we're looking to then potentially continue to pull back lower low again. So lower than this base, maybe not lower than this wick. We'll have to see how this plays out. You can see down here where we found a lot of sideways action. That would be a decent level to expect support to exist. So like the top of that range is going to be 46, 47K, which is going to line up with our monthly support. So possibly we still grind down there before kind of like pushing back up. It's not looking super bullish with this weekly close and these daily candles. The SPY, however, does look a lot more bullish. You see S&P 500 index here. This is the stock market. You can see the stock market having done on the daily chart kind of like a top, and then recently kind of topping out here as well, pulling back, but then finding a bit of a bounce. It's possible this plays out as a double top, like that McDonald's kind of golden arch, where we now pull all the way back here and then continue down. If the stock market does start to play that out, that definitely becomes pretty big. Even that recent pullback hasn't shaken our weekly trend from bullish. It hasn't even convincingly broken our support band. You can see we kind of tested it and we did wick below it, which would be kind of like a deviation below it. But we're not closing full weeks ever below that band. Comparing that to Bitcoin, getting multiple week closures now below that band really giving us that sense of bearish sentiment going into the ETH market too. ETH kind of representing the rest of crypto there, like the altcoin market. ETH looks even more convincingly bearish. You can see the weekly already having printed bear, having flipped the support to this red band now, and much cleaner indication of like lows continuing. There's almost like a straight line we could follow here. That's moving down. As we zoom out, of course, on the weekly, or I guess we zoom to the monthly as well, you can see ETH already having found the support line on the weekly chart here, and kind of struggling now or fighting now to continue upward. We'll have to see how this plays out, of course. But right now, I'm feeling a little more bearish than bullish going into the coming weeks and months. So with that in mind, let's jump over to our wax and then do what we do every Wednesday, Wax Wednesday, and mess around with some wax positions. So we started doing this close to 2 years ago now, with $10 at the time was about 100 wax. And so I took about 100 wax to start like moving it around and showing, hey, if we just do this once a week live on stream, can we grow our 100 wax in a meaningful kind of way that, demonstrates that it's possible to manage, a DeFi portfolio in terms of like 1 day a week style management. Like if I have a job, if I have a full-time commitment and family stuff, obviously I'm not going to be playing money manager and managing a DeFi like diversified equity portfolio. But as somebody who's got into Web3 gaming and the Web3 space in general, maybe you're getting kind of exposure to this DeFi world, that you weren't necessarily looking for, but it just is part of that Web3 space, and maybe you wanted to like dive in a little bit part-time. That's kind of the goal of this series. And so we basically started by making a brand new wallet, and I'm going to log into that wallet now and see how our positions from last week and the previous 2 years of activity have been doing. So let's see. For some reason it's doing that, so I'm doing my copy link trick here to force Anchor to log in my wallet. Go import the transaction for ESF payload. Access? Yeah, there we go. Okay, signed in.
We're in.
Forced it. I forced it in. I'm in. It would have been better if I was like typing to make it happen. But okay, so here's our wallet. I'm gonna go to pools. Here's what we have from last week. We're in LS Wax, which today is the day to restake that. So I'm gonna start by doing that before we even like look at anything else, because right now I know for sure if I go to staked, my LS Wax isn't showing here, and the problem is that it's under finished because this finishes every 6 days, and so I need to go to active, and then up here you can see I have a staked all or stake all position button that I can click. So I'm gonna click that. Prompts my wallet now that I've forced it to connect. It's working. There we go. So signed that transaction. Now, bam, my wax is in 7%. It's not bad, and I own 0.07. Here we go. So let's take a look. So we have from last week still our LS Wax position. We have Wax Booty Wax, Rook LS Wax, Wax HCC, Wax Neon, and STM Wax. All of these positions, we go to the farm, should still be, earning farm rewards, and we definitely need to check now that we still have runway for this to continue earning our farm rewards into next week, and if we want to stick around in there. Oh, you know what? I think the Neon farm is something that changed. because when I clicked earlier a second ago, when I clicked like restake all positions to restake my liquidity for the LS Wax LSW farm, when I did that a second ago, it staked my Neon Wax liquidity from my yield farming wallet, which is not a position I usually like to participate with staking. So let me go back to that really quick and undo that so that the APR isn't being eaten by my wallet. Yeah, I just noticed because it says 46%. I was like, that seems a little low. So if I go here, should see arms. I guess let me refresh this page now that I'm logged into yield farming. But should log out. Here we go. So staked only. Let's see, I'm looking for my Neon Wax pool. So I have like the source liquidity from when the Neon token first went live that I initially staked here. I don't participate in staking for our token rewards because I would otherwise earn 451,000 WOOF out of the 1.1 million every day. So I would earn way too much of it on stake. Okay, let's fix that. See, that should unstake it. Done. Okay, cool. Everything else is okay. I'm gonna go back to the hot wallet. Sorry for a little detour there. Ugh, for some reason. Really.
Anchor seems
some reason-
super glitchy on your computer.
Yeah, for some reason it's like being a little.
I don't use it as often as you do, but it pretty consistently works for me.
Yeah, on this computer it's way less, or way more, kind of like shaky. Other one. Here, I also have to go through some tasks. I have the command, like process manager, open in the background too, and Anchor like will tie up my CPU usage if I don't manually kick it, which is annoying too. But I know how to work around all this bullshit. Okay, there you go. So it went from 40 to 77. That seems much more accurate. A part of the reason it's also down, everything that's earning WOOF is down a bit as far as APRs go because the WOOF token price took a bit of a shit in the past, 48 hours or so. But yeah, so let's take a look. We have 7 days left on this one, which is totally expected. And the rest of these actually have, the next one to expire is going to be the 10 days here for the Rook LS Wax, and that's for the LS Wax side. So I'm not too worried about any of our farm. We're also still in pools that I feel like are worth being exposed to. I think Neon is one that doesn't move much in terms of wax, so this is just an easy 77%. Same goes for Wax Booty. This has been pretty consistently like holding its own. SDM also, kind of like a decent peg to stick against Wax. And then HCC has been going up since we jumped into the pool even. You can see where we started with about 50 Wax, and now we're at about 60 Wax bilateral. So if we were still at 50, we would see 25 here. And we've been riding this kind of like up and down. So far, I think like I'm cool with staying in all these pools. The first thing we want to do this week is claim reward. So I'm going to click claim. I'm claiming all the ones that we have here. And I want to basically, let's jump over to Wax on Edge. We can see cool charts here. I'm going to go to swap. I'm also going to just log out of yield farming and into our DeFi wallet. So our wallet's called DeFi1.ftw. We made that on the first day that we started doing this kind of like DeFi journey. So since that day, we've been kind of growing our LP position across the board here. So what I want to do, since we have some WOOF, which we've been earning, the majority of our farms pay WOOF. and the other ones that aren't paying WOOF are paying LS Wax. See, mostly LS Wax, and then Rook is the other one that we're getting a little bit of. So what I want to do is you can see here's our WOOF. This is WOOF FTW. Let's see. Here's WOOF Wax. You can see, in the last 2 weeks or so, I think, WOOF has kind of been selling off pretty aggressively. So we actually cut our wax exposure because we still have WOOF Wax over at Taco Swap, which I should go over to here. Let's see if I can get this one to load. This one's being a pain too. But we are in the WOOF pool here. If we go to WOOF, we're in this pool, which is paying 18%. We cut half of our liquidity exposure from this pool. Let me, for whatever reason, Taco is giving me a hard time with the signing in on my Anchor wallet here too, which makes very little sense to me, considering that in a different browser it totally works. So I guess I'll just let's see if I see it. I can see it in my other browser. I guess I'll just tell you what is in this wallet right now. We have 150 wax side paired against 5.8 million on the WOOF side. So about 300 wax worth of wax WOOF liquidity in this pool. We can see our own position if we just go to the leaderboard here. So I guess I could, scrub down here and find, it'll only show the top 50. So never mind. We're not that high up in this leaderboard. Looks like FTW has a little bit in here as well. But yeah, we have about 300 wax worth of liquidity in the pool. And if we go up on the top right here, there'll be account settings. You can then claim your account and rewards, and you can then claim your WOOF and whatever else you've earned from yield farming here. I'm going to do that right now on the other window that we can't see for some reason. I can't sign in on Chrome with this, even when I give it my normal workaround, because the workaround, it doesn't have a link for me to copy to paste the payload. But either way, I'm going to claim the rewards. I've made 37,000 WOOF for participating in this farm all week. And looking at the WOOF wax price, we are definitely back down to where we were, here, and potentially going to be, testing a lower support level here again. It depends. Although we also could get WOOF, rebounding, pumping in terms of, wax staying stable, and WOOF getting a nice big meme coin run if we do kind of get a little bit of a bullish revival here in the coming week. So I still like our exposure to the WOOF pool. I'm going to keep what we have in Taco Swap, just leave it alone. And same kind of goes for what we have here. For the most part, I'm not too upset with what's going on in our liquidity farm. And I do kind of want to maintain what we have. And so I think we'll take the rewards we earned this week, and let's try to add them to something that's paying us the most APR for what we see here. So that's going to be either... Actually, I feel like that's going to be Rook. And no, Rook and Wax isn't the high. Let's see. Let's untoggle staked only and see if there's other pools that have a higher APR that we maybe want to, participate in with just our rewards. Because if we go over to Wax on Edge and take a look at what we have in this wallet now, after claiming all our fees, we earned 1 week's worth of rewards, which is worth... Here you go. We got, 212,000 WOOF, so 5.5 wax worth of WOOF. And then I think we also have a few other... so yeah, we have some Rook, some LS Wax. So let's actually start by... let's start by deciding what do we want to use to farm here. Let's see if we can find something that's 2 to 400% or something like that, that we also feel comfortable messing with. So, looking through some of these farms. Here's the Wax Booty. We're already in this one already. But yeah, we got 35 days left, 104%. Still totally all about it. Let's see, 150 is not terrible. But we're looking for like 300 or something. 227 Raccoon. Raccoon's been around for a while, and they're paying 227 in Woof for the next 23 days. Let's take a look at what Raccoon looks like in terms of wax. So I'm going back to Wax on Edge. Raccoon. Typing in Raccoon, and let's see. So we have a daily chart. Raccoon. Interesting. Actually came kind of back to life. Dang. Big volatility here. So lots of volatility in this one. It looks like we're kind of on the higher end of where it's been over the last few weeks here. Last few maybe months even. But it looks like it ranges between the bottom there and the top here. And we're kind of like on the top third of that price act. Not bad. It's a little scary to see such a big sell-off and then such an aggressive recovery, but at the same time, we're only going to be exposing what we have earned in rewards. And where was that one? Raccoon. 227 is not bad. So this one's on my list for maybe we do this one. Especially because the reward where we're getting paid is more Woof. And if Woof recovers, then this APR increases. 23 days isn't a crazy amount of time, but definitely enough to play for 1 week. We got Neon here. Dang, this one's getting a bunch. Oh, and in Woof too, 234% in Woof. There's all these tokens, though. It gets cumbersome to kind of deal with them, especially in the small amounts that we're going to be using for this. I would prefer it to be a single token. Although even the single token APR here at 232 is pretty attractive.
I don't know if this is what you're talking about. I'm just reading the chat. We said Raccoon is part of the Daplicate product. I remember the name Collect Social, I think it was.
Yeah.
Pretty much dead since 2021.
I remember that product. I remember it being around for a while, but yeah.
I remember it being this kind of seems like Our Planet, but worse.
Yeah.
Because you could earn tokens to buy keys to open puzzles, and the puzzles were weren't they stolen artwork from famous paintings, and then the only thing they added was picture frames, and the picture frames look like ass. It was the whole thing was what is this, and why would anybody want to buy this?
Yeah, and it was it'd be pictures of famous works like the Mona Lisa and stuff. Which is
they clearly didn't hold the intellectual rights to either. The whole thing was
yeah.
I don't know.
It didn't make much sense to me. That's also why I'm I don't know if I want to ape into something I know so little about. That's why I'm looking for 300.
Yeah,
I want
honestly,
a bigger APR.
My theory for Collect Social was it was somebody that just owned a bunch of a dead project, and they're oh, I'm gonna make this stake rate for a shit ton and just try to sell all of my shit and not even really try to make this project last a long time, but just because the projects that were staking for it were a bunch of really OG early Wax projects that no, anybody who's currently using Wax is that's not what people are collecting. So I felt like it was someone just trying to dump their shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, maybe Collect Social is a different one. I'm thinking of the Collect Social. That was that's the Raccoon one. I was thinking of the fuck was I thinking of? There's an art one that used pepper.
I remember the one
something.
with the keys. Yeah, there was something really.
That was a different project.
Oh, was it the steak one? What was that one?
I feel like it was called something art, but yeah, I was thinking of a different one.
Yeah, that one was really low effort.
Collect Social, I also never got into. As this seems like.
Yeah, I remember I filled out some stuff to apply for the Neon Space stuff to get listed on their apps and shit, and then they never really followed up, and I was okay.
I want to say that a lot of Graffiti King and stuff on Collect Social.
273.
Yeah, the ART token. Whatever's the one with the ART token.
Yeah.
That one was
that was
the craziest project when it came out, and some people were buying into it. It's just do not buy anything for this. This is the lowest effort anybody could put into starting a project.
I feel like 310 is attractive, but I'm not going to recommend anything with like a token that I'm involved with on the other side. That's super conflict of interests. So I'm skipping over the FTW pools. Beans. I don't know what Beans is, but this is almost 300% in Woof.
Beans token. What's the contract?
Beans. Jurassic.fx.
I don't know what the hell Jurassic beans are.
Jurassic beans. I don't hate this. This one's kind of like. I mean, it makes me want to look at what beans are.
The reward is in Woof too, right? So I feel like
Yeah, the rewards in Woof. That's why I'm like, this is.
I feel like a
That's
lot of
also what I'm
times, like,
staying away from.
doesn't really matter what the token is as long as like the reward in Woof is lasting enough time, and it's not just a token that's getting like minted into oblivion.
Yeah, that's the other thing where it's like I don't mind if it has a high APR, especially when the rewards token isn't inflating the circulating supply.
Rock Metal says, "Oh, is that the Buy Jurassic Jelly Bean stuff?" Probably, but I don't even know what Buy Jurassic is.
Yeah, so you know more about it than me already. It looks like it got a pretty decent like revival not too long ago, probably when the farms went live, I imagine. At least it had like its massive pump and then it has sold off again, and now it's kind of finding, it looks like, its first level of support here. It's coming back into the moving average range. You know what? I don't know. I was looking for about 300, and I feel like Beans is hitting the mark here with 293. I'm going to scroll a little further, but Beans is my front runner. $370, but we're getting paid in. I don't know what 60 is. I'd rather get 290 something in Woof than 370 in something I'm not familiar with, especially when I have to hold 50% of my liquidity in. That's also a strike against the FTW pool because you're getting paid in FTW. So obviously, if FTW pumps, the APR pumps, but if it dumps, so does your APR. I say we go for the beans. Let's try the beans. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Where is it? Here, beans and LSW pool. We got 13 days, so when we get back here next week on Wednesday, we'll have a little bit of time left for the runway here, and we'll look for something new that has a longer run. But let's mess with what we've got and do this beans and LSW will be the same. So here we go. I'm gonna start by swapping what we got here. Let's do our rook from the farm there. Swap. We got some LSW to swap into bean. There we go. We got 767. I'm only swapping stuff that was earned from liquidity farm. I'm not trying to put any of our actual liquidity into this kind of like speculative farm. What I'm trying to do is take speculative farm or take farm earnings from our liquidity position and use them to basically get a bigger share of a reward pool that I would otherwise not participate in because it's too risky.
Rock Metal saying, I think they have a PFP drop thing soon. The price pumped because they're going to do some sort of like Woof rewards to the allocation to the people who buy the PFP or something.
Okay. That's kind of fun. I mean, I don't hate anyone doing PFPs or project stuff at the moment. I'll have to see if I scoop myself. But for now, I'm trying to basically get an even amount of value on both sides, beans and LSW. So I'm selling all of the rewards made. This is worth it for however much CPU resources broadcast that transaction. I'm going to come back. Just to make this easy on myself, this is not the most efficient way to do it, but if I swap everything to beans and then half of my beans to wax, because of how small the value of this stuff is, that'll be my preferred here. I do that a lot with the FTW token, but it's also because like I like to put some order book. Here we go. Okay, so now I have everything that I earned this week. I bought into beans, and now I want to do 50% of that into LSW. I could have done the math, like not done it transaction, but I didn't want to do math, and it's cost. The price impact at these amounts is very low. So there we go. I'm gonna swap. Looks like 2.1k bean. That gets me about 3 liquid staked wax. No, almost 4. So this week's rewards end up being close to 8 liquid stake wax 1 week after starting with 100 wax. That's still most impressive. Okay, so now I'm going to come here. This is the farm. I want to make sure I'm doing the right one. So you always got to check here where it says this 1%. So we need to make sure we're adding to the right pool. So by clicking details and add liquidity, that might not always be enough. You see, by default, it's asking me to add to the 0.3% pool. I need to be in this 1% pool. It's kind of an easy thing to spot because obviously 100% of people supplying liquidity here are in this pool. But, if you didn't know, you do have to be in the correct fee tier in order to be earning those rewards. So I'm going to do infinite range, the 1% tier, and that should get me very close. There we go. So now almost swap. Boom. Now I'm going to supply liquidity. By supplying liquidity, I also automatically stake. So there it is. This is my pools. And now if I go to farm, I should see that I'm also automatically in the farm. Also, let me make sure I'm not getting locked up on CPU. Let me force quit some of these anchor transactions. Yeah, I was at 97% CPU because Anchor is running like 16 instances. Ugh. Anchor, fix your shit. Okay. I just gotta do like 2 more of these before I can continue. Task. There we go. Okay. But now you can see if I go over here and toggle to farms and toggle to staked only farms, I'm already staked. Excuse me. So now I can see I'm going to be earning 2,500 woof every day on top of, however well this performs. So, if this just sits still, that's kind of perfect because now I'm earning 2,500 woof every day for 5 more days or for 7 more days this coming week on the value of what I've earned in the previous week. So we're not changing any of the compositions of our liquidity farm. We're just adding a high risk pool here with high rewards using only our earned rewards from last week. So moving into the next week, we're expecting, after looking at the market, we're expecting the market to kind of like create more clarity, and that clarity to probably materialize in more of a confirmed downtrend, especially considering the weekly close for Bitcoin last week closing more bearish and us having lost our support line here. What we're really looking for now is a flip of the band to red bear print, which potentially leads to a more bearish. Right now, it's still not confirming bearish market, but it's definitely the uncertainty of the market conditions are causing a decent amount of volatility, which is difficult to trade and difficult to stomach as a new crypto holder, especially someone who just bought maybe their first Bitcoin or their first whatever token and has seen it drop 20% or something since they've bought it. People who are new to these assets aren't necessarily used to this type of volatility, and it can be very difficult to see that happen. So with that in mind,
Pika has a question. He says, By the way, what's your opinion on Wolf volumes recently? The past few weeks, it's not been beating 100K a day across all its platforms and pairs. In the past 24 hours, there were only some 150 makers on Solana, which is where most of the Wolf volume is at. I'm, of course, rooting / hoping for Wolf to pump, basically for the sake of the whole Wax
Yeah.
ecosystem, but honestly starting to worry it'll rather see another negative 25% for the past few days, and perhaps even up towards negative 60% down from here.
Yeah,
60%
it's
down further from here would place it near negative 85% dip from the top, which isn't that uncommon for meme coins, especially in Solana.
yeah, definitely. Especially after a breakout, like after a parabolic kind of move. Once that parabolic move fails, you can generally expect like a drop from the peak of that price of about 80% before you find like solid support again, which isn't unheard of and unrealistic. I do think that the volume on Woof is a little low lately, just across the board volume is low, and there's not been any new, like incentive programs that have gone live recently to drive more volume that comes from people other than, market makers. So you don't have any kind of like, new blockchains are coming out, new airdrop kind of like announcements or anything like that. I think the next thing to happen is about a month away still with the Ton like Woofy Tap game ending and the distribution of Woofy tokens on the Ton blockchain happening. I think that will coincide also with, a potentially like a liquidity incentive event on Ton. I'm not sure that they'll do that. They didn't do that for Base Chain, but either way, once it becomes like a new blockchain goes live, I think that new market will drive some arbitrage opportunities, at the very least drive some more volume into the Wolf markets. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see meme coins, wildly jumping up and down and moving up and down, especially when you look at, we were just spending a decent amount of time just on Wax looking through like different farms that are available here, and like a lot of projects on Wax were given Woof to distribute, and a lot of the APR that's available on Wax is paid in Woof. So like, almost every one of these farms, the biggest chunk of its APR comes from a Woof distribution. And I think there's only one more distribution to those partners scheduled, but basically all of the partner collections out there that were given Woof have been spending the past, like 6 months or something distributing that Woof. And that creates kind of like an inflation, if you will, for the Woof like in circulation. And I think that also, plus the lack of like a new incentive burning or kind of like accumulating holding kind of program like the airdrops that they
Pika said
did.
that they mentioned they will allow staking Woof into season 2 of Woofy Tap, which is supposed to yield Woof and give some perks in the tapper.
So yeah, that's kind of cool. So that might then also drive, like, that's what I was about to get into. Like, there's not really any burn or like buy and hold case at the moment for Woof. So what we do have is, hundreds of farms printing hundreds of percentages in APR in Woof. A lot of these pools on Wax, even when they are being paid, 200, 300% APR. And so, a lot of that turns into sell pressure on Woof ultimately. And so I think we'll see, once there's more, I guess the hype comes obviously with like, events like a new season starting, a new blockchain being added, a new bridge opening, all that kind of stuff can help to create like hype. But then like ultimately the reason why you see like values diminish any token is because the circulating, like the distribution into circulation is outpacing the the demand that's pulling stuff out of circulation. And so as long as that equilibrium can't be maintained, then there's not a very solid floor for support to stop a price from moving down. We were looking at that, I think not even last week, the week before, we pulled like half of our liquidity from the Wax Woof pair to deepen liquidity pools that weren't Woof exposed but were still Wax exposed, because it was a little bit more clear looking at the Woof Wax chart that there is a a sell off in that direction. But let's see if we can find like woof under crypto, Woofy USD, CMEX, base swap. I know these are actual LPs. Base swap's usually where I swap for when I'm on base chain for Woofy because it has the deepest liquidity. But let's see CMEX, right? So looking at the daily chart for Woofy, we definitely have a pretty substantial drop like this. The other thing that you can see when volume goes a lot lower, like we've been experiencing for Woofy recently, like especially centralized exchanges stop getting large volumes for those pairs. And when a centralized exchange pair starts performing like low volume, eventually the exchange will delist those pairs, which is what happened to Brawl not too long ago on one of these exchanges. And then like when an exchange delists a token, generally they have a lot of that token that they have, for market making the exchange book. And when they delist, they generally can like dump a lot of that token and cause, big distribution sell-off events like we saw on Brawl. But yeah, looking at this, we definitely have support, here, kind of like where we had after this first major breakout, which puts us, if we do the bottom range before we hit that support, definitely still sees, a room for a 25 to a 30% fall before we'd find that support. So you definitely have that room to move down. Looking at the Wolf chart in terms of dollars, you're also, very approaching oversold, basically looking for support now, looking to bounce. And you can see right around here is the first, like, we've basically dropped down to that top of that support range. So we should be finding that support relatively soon. So it is definitely, yes, there's room like for another 30% down before we should almost certainly get at least a little bit of a pullback. And if that pullback, doesn't show strength, then it's possible we even sell back down to where the next support line would be, which would then be at the peak of this previous pump. So, that's all the way down to here. And then, support falls off to like we're around here. There's not a whole lot. Like you said, not uncommon for meme coins. This is a very immature market. There's not a lot of, liquidity support at all these levels because this thing has been around for what? If I go to the monthly chart, yeah, like 6 months, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 months. So it's not like had the time to establish. Even like looking at the monthly chart, I guess is the best sense of what I'm trying to say is we're looking for it to like make. It's like, oh, is it going to keep moving down or up? Well, it clearly made a nice high here. What we're looking for is a higher low. So as long as it doesn't pull back below the bottom of this support where we were here, what we're saying, that range 30% below where we currently are, we can still make a new higher low and then push up and high from. And looking at the monthly chart, we're not even confirming yet that like this is the, this isn't gonna, or that is gonna bounce in a higher low. We're still like mid move, so it's hard to like make a judgment call, especially considering how not deep the data liquidity history is of this market. So we'll have to see. It's definitely worth keeping our eyes on. It's definitely, I still think Wax is the best place to farm for Woofy assets. Like if you want more Woofy, there's way more ways to earn it on Wax in these pools than there is on any other blockchain. It's true that Solana has a lot more deep liquidity and you can move a lot more value into and out of Woofy on those markets. But once you're in Woofy, there isn't much to do with it on Solana at the moment, other than hold it and wait for airdrops that are announced for it, or on Wax, or on Base Chain, for example. There's not even liquidity incentives or any sort of airdrops. So on Base, not a whole lot of reason to trade it. Which I'm curious to see if we look at the Woofy on Base. Let's see. Woof. Here it is. Woofy.
I do feel like the
left
Woof hype
ETH.
has died considerably from months ago. As far as like everybody
Yeah.
on Wax is pretty hyped about it now. People are kind of just like, yeah, been there, done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So it's not like, I mean, it's also like, I think Woof is a functional token for like moving cross chain and stuff. It's really great for that. It's definitely a great proof of concept for the cross bridge. But yeah, like if you're looking for something like a substantial, like I was looking for FTW token, a substantial base pair for liquidity, I started with Wax because I'm on. So I was going Wax, Liquid Stake Wax, LSW thing, and then Woofy was the next one. So it was like Woofy because it's the next biggest volume. I want something that isn't just Wax to create arbitrage opportunities, price difference between pools that drive more volume. And so, yeah, in that sense, Woofy's definitely, looking at the analytics, Woofy's definitely still like the kind of like next in line king of the throne here with, almost 300,000 in monthly volume on Wax, which is big on Wax. That's not very big looking at Solana, but, it's definitely up there with something like TLM or Wombat or like some of these other established long multi-chain assets that also have liquidity in Uniswap pools, EVM, which is really part of my decision to like include the liquidity. But yeah, with all of that said, we are continuing our 300 Wax exposure to the Woofy pool, which if you look at this wallet too, by the way, 300 Wax of bilateral depth is by far the deepest liquidity position. This is the next deepest one with about 200 Wax. Then, we got some here like 60, 67, 70 maybe, being like, everything else is basically like 50 to 100 Wax. So our deepest position is still Woofy Wax. And I'm still like a fan of supplying liquidity and participating in that token because I see it as a cross-chain utility token as well as a meme coin, not just a meme coin. And while I do like the meme and stuff, it's like, I'm not here to put the majority of my liquidity into just meme nonsense. And so for me, the utility side of Woofy really still informs my decision to continue to farm and participate in it. And of course, the fact that we're opening a bridge to another blockchain ecosystem that really isn't that easy to enter or exit. It's a very centralized, I don't know how much you've dove into Ton, but it's a very centralized ecosystem. So having a bridge that can move between, such a centralized ecosystem into more decentralized ones like Base or even Wax, I think that's valuable, and I'm excited to see that. So I'm sticking around at least until that kind of out. But in the meantime, we're staying in these pools, and we have runway in them, looking at our farm positions, at least to play out the rest of our week. And then next week, we'll probably reassess at least the Beans one, which will likely be ready to end. But until then, we're riding here with 4 LSW. So almost 8 LS Wax, almost 8 Wax that we made 1 week of maintaining this farm. And so what this is going to entail for this week is literally absolutely nothing. Let this run on autopilot, not even sign back into any of my computers, and next week come and this will have earned me my yield, have performed, have acted as market maker to all these different asset pools, all kind of while I don't even have to think about it. And just like that was kind of like the goal of showing like, hey, it's very straightforward to do this kind of stuff from your own wallet, and here's how. So if there's any other like liquidity kind of like farm out there that we want to do, we'll look into them this week, see what we want to move into. For now, I think this is how we're gonna structure our Wax Wednesday position. Also, I guess also I should say I showed off and I moved a little bit of what is it, Woof, from my Woofy position here into a staker, a single-sided staker. So those are also options to consider. And this one is Pixel Journeys. So if you want to earn some PXJ, get a little bit into that, you can see here. If I go to claim now, I've now made 4.5. So I haven't had to buy
Pika
any
is also
PXJ.
saying partners have only gotten 213 billion Wolf times 3 allocated. So that, all in all, is not even as much as the season 1 of Woofy Tap will distribute all at once in a few weeks.
Yeah,
People also might be
exactly.
selling off in anticipation of that. He also said Wolf is nearly 20% of all Wax DeFi currently, so minus 60% potential dip would be brutal. My main concern is in all this, well, it's likely mostly the Wax community trying to catch the dip, and with all our LPs paired with it, while Solana Degens are just going to yeet it because it's not look as down as it should be.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, and I think when you have, because Woofy is such a big part of Wax DeFi, so if we go over here, for example, to analytics, statistics, and we can take a look at Woofy, you'll see that, I guess I'll just give the actual numbers rather than start making them up. But you can see that Woofy is paired with almost $82,000, so 2.8 million Wax. But beyond that, 5.5 million Wax of cumulative pair liquidity. So about half of the liquidity out there is paired with non-Wax based pairs. And so, looking at that here, you can see, it's like Woofy Wax, Woofy Wax, Woofy Wax. But then it's like Woofy Wombat, Woofy USDT, Woofy PXJ, the next big one here. So then it's like, yeah, there's deep liquidity pairings in here. If Woofy starts to dump really aggressively, what the effect is on a pool like PXJ is that, PXJ would become there'd become an arbitrage opportunity where then bots and other traders would, buy or basically source PXJ to buy the Woofy here to dump it as it's dropping, because the price of the Woofy, stays higher until someone buys it out of here or sells it here. So then you'd end up getting a bunch of Woofy dumped into this pool for PXJ, and a bunch of PXJ gets taken out of this pool and sold for.
I mean, not only
anything
that,
else.
most of the pools of APRs that people are trying to farm is because of the Woof reward. So if the Woof reward goes
Yeah.
down, the APR for like every single
That
pool in
too.
Wax is going down.
All of our pools here that we're farming are basically Woof APR. So yeah, if this drops 50%, then our 100% drops to 50%. And at 50%, maybe people are less inclined to farm this pool, and if that means they're going to sell out of the SDM side of this back to Wax or something, that could also then decimate the values of the sides that aren't Woofy. So you'd end up with people like consolidating from pools that they've been farming for months now, just because the implied value of what they're earning is no longer worth it, which absolutely can happen. So that's a big part of the risk. I do think that a good amount of what's being dropped on Ton is going to be dropped to Ton users and hopefully absorbed on Ton. I believe they will do a seed liquidity, so people dumping it will be dumping it over on Ton chain. But of course, if the price on Ton chain starts to fall and is higher on Wax, then guess what people are going to do is buy it on Wax, bridge it to Ton, and sell it on Ton, or buy it on Ton for cheaper, bridge it over to Wax, and then dump it on Wax until the price evens out. So obviously, like he said, like Pixel Journey saying, you're getting a huge distribution event that's going to be more than all the partners put together happening in one go. And so it doesn't strike me as super unreasonable to assume that the price drop here is a potential exodus in anticipation for such a distribution event. To see people who have been holding and farming these tokens have been doing very well since the beginning, but it's also well, you can only do so well if you actually realize those profits, and when you realize them, you're going to drop the value. And so you maybe get some of the big whales selling off here, deciding time to take profit, and then once the market drops to here, some of the next smaller kind of people are weighing their options now, seeing the horizon of new distributions coming, seeing the landscape, and they're okay, maybe whatever, I wasn't going to sell, but now it looks like maybe, so I'll sell too. And you get a little bit of a cascade fall off. Then basically by the end of these fall off like dumps, you end up with the individual person who maybe wasn't paying attention and isn't like assessing every day their exposure to Woofy. Maybe that person sells like but right before the prices start to recover, and that's how you end up with the person, with the whole like idea of, you know, the average trader always losing because they're reacting and not like following a plan. Whereas generally the like big whale who initiated the initial sell off did so because they've hit a price target. They're investing, they have a plan, they're following a strategy. Whereas, reacting to price isn't a good plan. Ultimately, I think the move would be to, if you feel like you are currently overexposed to Woof or to anything, cut it down until you feel like you have what you want as far as exposure goes, and then make a decision on what you'll do with that asset if situation A or situation B. Like, what would you do if Woofy went up 5x? What about 10x? What about 15? At which point did you sell? You should know that before that happens. Same goes for when it drops. So if it does drop another 30%, will you sell after 30%, or will you have sold at 15? If it drops another 15, is that your drop dead moment, or is 30? Like, basically making that decision before the price action starts to play out puts you in a place where you have a strategy, you're following a plan, and you're removing your emotional commitment or your emotional attachment to your asset, so that you're not reacting to something. Rather, you're monitoring the asset's performance and then making a move that you've already decided to take when you first bought into those assets. Because as an investor, you have a plan, and you are following a plan and a strategy. You're not reacting to market conditions, and then making up a strategy as conditions change. That is a good way to get eaten alive. So I think my best kind of takeaway is, whenever you play, crypto trader, or whenever you buy any equity assets, when you first put the money that you work hard for into those assets, you should then, let's say I put $100 into Woof, or I put $100 into Wax. I should then be like, okay, I'm buying $100 worth of Wax at 4 cents per Wax. If Wax falls to 3.2 cents, that's too low. Like that means that we've fallen below my tolerance for it, and I would cut. Or maybe I'll buy some more. Maybe that's your approach to it. But you should know what you're gonna do before something happens, versus trying to make a plan in the moment, because in the moment you're gonna have the emotional weight of what's actually happening to your position affecting your judgment. You don't want to have to decide, what do I do with a position that's a meaningful amount of money to me, in a moment when that position is exploding in value, or tanking in value. Like, you're not thinking clearly if you just made 8x on something and have no idea when to sell. It's not like, well, it's very difficult to sell a money printer when it's printing money. And the best way to do that is to decide at what threshold you're going to sell what before you actually buy the money printer. So keeping that in mind, you definitely want to have an exit strategy when you first enter any meme coin position, especially, but also any equity position at all. But yeah, let's see what this plays out to next week. We have a pretty diverse portfolio here of liquidity farms. We're still very exposed to earning Woof tokens, and very interested in continuing to do so. I'm not like running for the door just yet. I do think Woof has an interesting ecosystem where the cross-chain stuff really like works well, I think. And I think the team behind it had been relatively competent in recent history. I think there's there's something to be said about getting centralized exchange listings, or getting the ability to bridge into networks like TON, which, like I said, is a pretty centralized operation. So clearly the team behind Woofy has the ability to open doors to, you know, those types of like ecosystems, and that's really exciting. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm still tapping my Woofie's taps. I'm not like religious about it, but like I'm trying to get a cut of Woofie dropped to me on Ton so that I can participate in whatever sort of incentive stuff happens on that chain. And I had a decent amount over on Base, which I've recently moved back to Wax to do some of the Wax LP rewards. Again, I think, you know, Wax is a great place to farm for Woof tokens right now, and clearly some of these other LPs are you know worth your while. At least the ones that we've been doing, you can see that we've turned 100 Wax into like almost 1,000 in like 2 years. And that doesn't just come from the fact that Wax is worth less than it was when we first bought it. We also, you know, started with $10 and $50. So, or, well, you know, something close to that. Figure the pools. Let's see, this is $14 alone here, you know. So we starting with $10, we still have 14 in here, and this doesn't even include the 600 Wax that we have in Taco Swap, which is worth another 7. So yeah, so like, you know, from 10 like to 30 something. So it's like at least 3x in the amount of dollar value and like 8 to 10x in the amount of Wax value. Really doing well, and a lot of that comes from, you know, not chasing stuff too crazily, not overextending and then not you know, not like being too crazy aggressive with trying to do anything. So we're trying to stick to tokens that we understand, at least to a degree. We understand how they're distributed and how they're incentivized, and then you know, alternating where we want to allocate our farming our farm hours here to make ourselves a decent amount of profit, while also, you know, supporting and participating in the Wax DeFi ecosystem. So this has been a really fun like experiment, and I hope to continue, you know, doing this to the future and see how it plays out. I really like making my own token with the FW too, and see how like more people start interacting with it. How you know, some people bought some with Woof, some people have been farming, you know, the rewards, and it's just fun to see the activity out there that you can participate in this kind of like international, you know, ecosystem in any capacity that you want. You know, you could just come here, use the swap, trade, and you're still participating. But you can also go a lot, you know, beyond that and go to the market maker side, supply the liquidity, you know, create the assets yourself, create the farms. You can do all of that stuff, you know, all just from a wallet. So really really a fun blockchain to do that on. Wax is really easy, fast, cheap. I think that's also why you see a lot of scams stuff happening in spaces where thing is it's cheap to use it, so then it's cheap for everybody, including the scammers. Easy, and that goes, you know, for legitimate projects and for scams. So the bar to creating something like scammy is low. Expect to see a lot of scammy shit, but you know, not too
We do a
bad.
giveaway.
Let's do a giveaway. I think that covers what we wanted to show in what is it called?
Yamster also
DeFi.
asked, how many neon PFP can I get for 1 million Woof? At current prices, not even one, probably. We're still planning. We're going to sell our PFP for like $7.50. And Woof, a million Woof is worth less than $1, so you're going to need a lot more than a million Woof.
Yeah, you need like 10 million Woofs. That's also. We were also talking about doing like a Woof, like part of our Woof allocation for like a rewards pool for people who.
We'll see what it's worth by the time we do it.
Right. But yeah, that's let's see. Man, if one of my big time things sells, I can buy some more Woof.
All right.
Let's see.
Buzz King was saying, it took me a while to research Alcor versus Taco. Both have their pros and cons, but Alcor seemed a bit better for me. I still use Taco LPs too, though. I definitely like
Yeah.
Alcor over Taco. And I buy on Shopify. I think the way we're going to do our PFP sales through Nefty, and I believe you can use credit card sales through Nefty. So if you're trying to pay with fiat, I think you'll be able to do that with a credit card, debit card, whatever. I have to check. I haven't like looked into Nefty in so long, but that used to be like one of the things you can do if you're a level 3 staker is you can do credit card sales on their website. We actually, if anybody's checked, we shut our Shopify down temporarily because we haven't been doing sticker drops and it's costing us like $50 a month. So until we get back to the sticker drops, there is no Shopify, but we'll start that back up once we start producing more stickers, but kind of on hold there. I'd really like to start releasing new artwork as stickers. We've just been kind of like recycling old artwork through stickers. And we can't really work on new artwork until we finish the PFP, so once again, waiting for that PFP to get done before we really truck on.
We got to make an artwork that commemorates the kittens.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
I wouldn't mind a full cat set. We could do a Marcy, a Ramon, and the other 2 cats. I feel like we need one more animal.
Carlos can make his comeback.
A lot of cats compared to Marcy. She's going to be the one dog. I do want to make a sticker for our Neon Space Live on Twitch. I feel like that one is a good sticker idea. Yamster.
Oh yeah,
winning
Yamster
that million
for
wolf.
the win.
There's also a cat meme coin on its way to Wax. I'm surprised there isn't a cat meme coin on Wax already. It's very like the next thing to do after you have a dog meme coin. I don't know. I don't really get into meme coins that much. Woof was pretty much the one for me. And I've sold like a good portion of my Woof. I sold half of my billion a while ago on Solana. I have like 500 million-ish now.
Yeah, I bought into some nonsense meme coins on Solana too. We'll see. I'm still holding them to see how they go. I don't know. Meme coin stuff is fun.
I'd rather buy into games or stuff that I can actually play with.
Especially given the current like landscape of Web3 gaming, it's really coming up. Like, I really liked Boss Fighters. That shit is fun. I'm blown away with how much that shit's worth too. Like those prices are a little bit whack.
I sent it to your other wallet, Yamster. Sorry if you. I sent it to .gm, not .wham. So hopefully you still have access to the .gm wallet.
Yeah, let's see. Any wallet is good, he says. Nice.
Good, because it's already been sent. Exclamation point
send you
Neon, if you want to join this next giveaway. I don't know, is there other wax news we have?
Is
I don't really
there? I
know.
guess I was kind of surprised to see how much those TMNT redeemables are going for, like $350 each. Looks like the pack drop it was yesterday, and the price is already doubled.
I think I saw Rock Metal posted they're starting up a stream tomorrow, maybe. If I read that correctly. I saw it briefly while posting that we're going live. Shout out.
Nice.
What am I looking for? It TMNT. It's under the same.
Yeah, it's the same collection, but this time
2.
it's like set 2 or whatever. Yeah, series 2.
Legendaries are going for 43. And Grails are going for 377. Hot damn, that's 13,000 wax.
Yeah, that's going.
13,000 wax at one point was close to $13,000. Now it's 377. That's so sad.
Yeah, geez. That's also
Cutting out there for a second.
That's
Until
crazy, huh?
you cut out for like 20 seconds there. I have no idea what you're trying to say. Yeah, if you want both of these, it's going to cost you close to $800. It's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah.
They're like a 2-part set. One's half and then half.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was like, if you want this as a desk toy, that's like a $700 desk toy. Yamster flipped all the packs. Hell yeah, dude. You could double up within like a day. It looks like the packs have already 2x just unopened.
Leonardo and Michelangelo are more valuable than Raphael and Donatello for what? Let's see the pack.
The packs have 2x'd already.
These are the old packs.
You can scroll down. There's not a lot of old packs.
There we go. $26 for the. Interesting they didn't name these different.
Yeah. There's not a lot of old ones though. Like very few people still have those unopened. I'm surprised that people sell them for like basically drop price.
Series 1. $78. Hot damn. I think that's over double. Aren't those usually like 30 or 35? Even either way, it's.
Yeah. Yeah, like 35, 40 or something.
About $480 worth of packs and flip them all. Damn, because the fees.
Yeah, he said he made
80 to 100%
80.
per pack.
That's legit, dude. That's what I was thinking. I was like, dude, I wanted to buy those packs, but I just missed the drop, and I was right. That was gonna be a fucking like of all the Funko drops that have happened in like a while. This is the one I've been most excited about since the very first one.
All right.
I definitely kind of want to. I still want a pack. I just want to rip a pack and see if I can pull one of those.
Those are so expensive
15.
now, though. I feel like if you don't pull that, you're just like burning money.
Yeah.
For a large pack, $80. That's a lot. All right, let's do another giveaway real quick. It's getting close to my draft.
And if I
draft pick, I'm gonna have to just flip over to my draft.
Yeah, if I want that other like pack drop, which happens tomorrow for boss fighters, I don't even know if that's worth it either. At least this one was from Funko and TMNT, which are both like long-running like IPs, compared to Boss Fighter, which is like rolling the dice on something brand new. Oh, who's it gonna be?
It is Pika Pika Pika. Congrats, Pika.
Yeah, pop in stock. That's what I thought too.
You don't have your wallet.
Pretty sure fucking.
What's your wallet, Pika? What is your wallet?
Pika. Buick, you got close though.
That's Be Wicked, I'm pretty sure. I'm not even looking at the screen, but.
Fucking hell. I always just call him Buick. I like Buick. Be Wicked. You got close. Be Wicked.
Alright, 1 million woof going over to you.
Have you seen the. No, never mind. Well, I hope to see Woof bounce back.
I hope to see Woof. I feel like Woof still has like a lot of utility and legs and liquidity and stuff, like compared to some meek points. It's not just all like smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, I agree. And if they can maintain like they still have a decent amount of like just rewards like to give out and like Woof to like use to like launch other chains and stuff. I feel like if they do some cool like staking thing on Ton, that'd be a cool like incentives to move. Like I'd move some Woof over and stake it. Which reminds me, I gotta like tap. I gotta do my taps. Let's see how many taps. Here, I'll show you my Woofy.
I never got into the tapper. I feel like I'm gonna regret it seeing how big the prize pool is.
The prize pool is ridiculous. 500 billion. Here, so far you can see I've tapped 40 million times. Nonsense. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to have a leaderboard and to like, you know, once a day pull this thing out and click some taps, whatever. I can do that. Let's see, the nitro taps are also fun where it's like how fast can you do it in like a matter of minutes or whatever, a matter of like 1 minute. All your like your score is like 10x or something. And you just gotta be like, ah. I try to use all 5 of my fingers. I don't know if you can see. I'm like, go. Like this.
Oh, where are you on the leaderboard?
Not high. I also like forget to do it. I'm let's see, I am 3,847th place. Out of like 300,000 people though, so like top, 10%. It's I'm close. I'm close to my goal personally is to get to 50 million taps by like the end, so that I can get like the whatever that roll is. Like you get new rolls every like milestone. 50 million is my next milestone. I'll get like Lord of the Dogs or something like as my roll. But other than that, I don't know. It's just kind of
So 90% goes to premium tappers who bought treats, and 10% of the pool is split between the 400k free tappers. I think Max bought some stuff.
I bought treats. Fuck yeah, I bought treats on day one. I was like 16th highest place on the leaderboard in the day one, but I'm not a bot. Like, and I also don't care enough to like, pull it out every time my shit like resets. Like I'll pull it out once or twice a day, like while I'm taking a dump, just to like go through my daily rewards. So I've definitely fallen off the leaderboard. But I had Ton on the Ton chain already. I do like liquidity farming there too. So if you want to know where to park your liquidity to earn some decent APR, let me know. We can go to you know what? I mean, share my screen and show you if you want to see. But I had some Ton already basically, and I make maybe like 6 to 10 Ton every month from just yield like rewards. And so it was like 3 Ton or 2 Ton or something to buy like the biggest pack of treats. And so I bought the biggest pack of treats. I unlocked like the auto tap bot, which was like you could only do that if you buy the treats. And then I leveled it all the way up. And then I leveled like, what is it called? The energy. So like however much here you can see like I leveled those shits all the way up, and that costs treats after you get to a certain level. So I did that, but I still have 600 treats left. So I guess next season I'll have treats again. I'm sure I'll have to rebuy some of this shit. But yeah, I just bought the biggest bundle of treats on like day one, just because that's part of what I moved money over to Ton to do, was to like play the games and see what the hell's going on Ton. And then when Woofy came over there, it was like, oh, it's a game backed by a project that I know for sure isn't all smoke and mirrors, like Lewis already said earlier. So
I'm
like
still waiting
I'm
for a
already
fucking cat game to like announce an airdrop.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, I spent like $10 on the cat game too. So it's
They've been
like I'm
teasing
already
that for so long though. Like, just keep.
Dude, my cats are almost level 300.
I wonder what mine are.
My
Almost
cats
up
are
to like the
fucking-
top league.
Yeah, they're chonks, dude. I'm still not in the highest league though. I'm like in the Royal League or whatever.
Let's see. Mine are 296.
I didn't know that the split was 90-10 though. So yeah, that's I'm glad I spent money on treats. I mean, like I said, I rolled the dice.
Again.
It's rigged, dude. It's rigged. It's yeah, like that was the point of like I moved like I think initially I moved like $100 or something into the Tom network to play stupid games and to like, you know, spend money to play games. And so it's like it was kind of a no-brainer for me when they launched the Whoopee Tap to be like, yeah, I'll buy like whatever like bundle of tokens they want to sell and see how the game plays. Also, if you've ever played like Tap any other like phone time waster like phone games, if you spend like $5 to buy whatever the fuck the in-game shit is that they're selling, those games are so much more fun than if you're just grinding from like zero. But I never view it as like, oh, this is a way for me to make money. It's like I'm spending money to play a game, which I still feel like the Web3 space needs to learn how to like cater to that audience a little better, because a lot of the like Web3 space is like, invest in Web3 assets, which is like, why isn't it just buy a player, buy a fucking web bundle? Like, I don't have to be able to sell my taps after. I'm just trying to get more of them. And I think there's a lot of people out there who spend money that way. Like, I don't know, like fucking Candy Crush makes hundreds of millions of dollars by selling lives, and nobody expects to like resell their lives. I don't know. I feel like they got to figure out how to like market a little bit more towards the gamers versus the like Web3 investors. Because again, I don't think gamers are here to like flip video game items. They're here to play video games. Let's see. Oh yeah, exclamation mark neon for the next guy. Here we go. All right, after my daily check-in and stuff, it looks like I'm at 41,110,000 tap. Boom. It says something like Candy Crush also got leaderboards. Yes, it does. Haven't played it, and yeah, there's definitely leaderboards. There's like local leaderboards too, so like you can set it to like wherever you live, and it like knows based on your GPS coordinates, so you can like have a leaderboard based on like people that are physically in your jurisdiction, like around you. So if you suck at Candy Crush, you can just be like, yeah, well, I was like, this place on the leaderboard of people that live around here. Which, yeah, there's a lot of like motivation to spend money just to stay on a leaderboard. At least, I don't know. I think it comes down to like, there's people who won't ever spend money on a video game like microtransaction at all, period. And then the people who do, they don't like, they're not the ones looking for like the resale value of what they're spending. They're like just kind of impulsive people. Like, at least when I spend money on games, it's an impulsive thing. It's not like I'm gonna make a plan to buy whatever. It's literally just like, I'm out of live, whatever, 99 cents. Give me a pack of 5. Like, I do love the idea that Web3 like is pitching of like the investor crowd then being like the crowd that farms the assets that are being sold to the gamer crowd, who's just there to like consume them and use them to play.
Zach Bonhoeffer winning it.
I don't know how realistic that is though, huh?
I mean, more often than not, the gaming crowd never comes, and then it's just the fucking investor crowd fighting each other for almost nothing.
Or if the gaming crowd comes, then there's still like, what about the developing crowd? Like, they need to get paid too. If the investing crowd is getting paid from the gaming crowd, who the fuck pays for developing?
I don't think gamers should like think they should earn anything from playing video games. I think that's just like never gonna work. And read about it. I fucking ranted about this in our Discord recently, but somebody DNA was talking about capture score. Pull up my rant.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if people can even read this anyway, but first I'll read the thing they said about Illuvium. It said, I worked on Illuvium. Here's some info that can help understand the absolute state of this thing. Obviously created a new account, LOL. To understand the bad game, you need to understand that the three Warwick brothers have massively inflated egos. Like massively, massively. I think they genuinely believe that they can pull it off and make the first 7 AAA game. What is the 7 version of that? Anyway, it's 7 A's in history, even if they have no prior knowledge on how to do a very simple game. Grant was posing as a mystery developer who invented a groundbreaking shader on the dev workspace. Kieran often talked about the inevitable Netflix documentary that would be produced about Illuvium. Aaron really thinks he's written the next Star Wars, but better. They really see themselves as geniuses, busy inventing the future of video games. This leads to obvious problems, like Grant leaving the game because of his massive ego conflicted with Kieran's. Apparently, the two brothers hate each other's guts. It seems that having spicy, unsolved family issues doesn't help make a bazillion-dollar project. Who could have guessed? Other consequences range from firing a whole part of the team on a whim, changing core gameplay elements after Palworld released, LOL, that was something to witness, a lack of vision, etc. More importantly, this led to the overlook of ideas from people they hire. My honest opinion, this is the main reason the game is in the state. Why would they listen to anyone? They are geniuses. On one side, the devs do not have any incentive to criticize the boss's shitty ideas. They are well compensated. And for a lot of them, Illuvium has been a shelter from the many layoffs that happened in the game industry over the recent years. Getting into an argument with one of the brothers could lead to a layoff, so the devs shut up and implement whatever stupid idea comes out of the brain of these millionaire man-childs. The paradox is that a lot of the devs are actually very good at what they do. That is why the game is Neon Purple Grant's idea. That's why there is 3 games instead of 1. Kieran wanted an NFT thing first, Aaron wanted to make his own TFT, and Grant wanted an open world RPG. And that's why it drains a crazy amount of money. No vision, no experience, every competent dev is too busy playing the Emperor New Clothes make-believe. To be honest, some of them do believe the Warwick's bullshit. I really think the brothers are the main consequence of this disaster. With that crazy amount of money, you really need to be amazingly bad, amazingly unqualified to make that poor excuse of a game. The devs have their salaries, and the Warwick brothers will end up richer than they were in the first place. Everybody wins, except, of course, the poor people who genuinely believe that would be a sound investment. And see, this is where I think the problem with this entire is like, okay, I can agree with all that previous stuff, but why would you ever believe that investing in a game as a player is a sound investment? Like, why should the players get paid more than the team? Like, you're upset that the team is making money and the players aren't? That's how games should fucking work. They're entertainment. They're not investments. And yes, some stuff is pitched as investments, but I don't know. That's what led me on this whole rant that I said in our Discord, not just the preface, my rant. My reply to that was, doesn't surprise me the game does seem overwhelmingly convoluted, which is a sign of people who don't have a clear vision in game design. Which is what I said when we first did. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like whatever we did on Wax, where they like tried to develop an economy and then to build multiple games around it to try to fit everything together, and it doesn't really make sense. And I also said I don't think the game will ever take off mainstream because it's so complicated. But then I said I don't think this is a horrible game to play for free, which is also what I agree in. What we've been saying is like, you can play Illuvium for free. I wouldn't invest in it. We've never said you should invest in Illuvium and buy several $100s worth of land. But my overall sentiment on that was, I think investing in gaming as a player is a dumb concept. If you like playing a game, buy shit if you enjoy it. Most AAA games, huge developers don't have a player base after a few years, so expecting that to happen in Web3 with inexperienced teams and fly-by-night projects is just crazy. Devs don't help by promoting ROI and selling assets for hundreds of dollars, but I also just avoid all that stuff. Big Time has a crazy convoluted economy and way overcharged on land sales, in my opinion. And guess what? I just avoided that entirely and played for free. Same with Illuvium. If I end up thinking the game is not worth playing, I can quit with zero risk because I didn't buy hundreds of dollars worth of gaming items expecting to make money on it. I think Web3 gamers have an unrealistic expectation on how blockchain games should work, and time after time, play to earn has proven to be nothing but a Ponzi with an expiration date. Even a game like Counter-Strike, the most valuable skins you have to gamble for. There is no clear route to earning expensive skins or paying to win expensive skins. The reason the expensive skins have value is because there are rare gamble wins like pack openings, and some are 10 plus years old in a game that's still massively played. And also, like,
Yeah.
on that, Max is listing something he got for playing for free in big time for like $300 or whatever, and like some of it actually
Yeah.
sold for that price. So it's like you can do well on these games without investing in them, and I feel like that's definitely a route to go instead of gambling and expecting a game to like become massively big and like the economy to exist for years. All that is just like saying yesterday privately to Max that like you're not investing at that point, you're gambling. And guess what happens
Yeah.
to most people that gamble? They lose. That's how gambling works. So like calling it investing, I don't even think is the proper term for it. You're gambling on Web3 gaming. You're gambling that a game will become successful. And more often than not, you're investing in people that have no track record making successful games in the genre they're trying to make. And like, I don't know, it's like,
Yeah.
why should that work? And why are people spending thousands of dollars on that stuff? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. That's
All right.
definitely, I totally agree with that.
In the second half of my rant, which how much time is in this? 9 minutes. Took me 9 minutes to recharge and write the rest of this. So while I don't disagree that Illuvium is probably a bad investment and the team will make more money than players, I also think that's the way all games should work. Players shouldn't expect to earn from games and probably shouldn't even buy into games that are pitching play to earn over actual fun gameplay. And players shouldn't spend more than they would on a Web 2 AAA game to play mediocre blockchain games. Devs wouldn't print money and put out mediocre and broken games if blockchain bros stopped buying into their horseshit. So I don't know. I sort of think the buyer is the problem at this point. Of course, developers are going to take advantage of whatever is profitable. We saw that run its course on Wax. Clickers are making money and launch one of those with no real plan to convert it into something sustainable. Then staking. If people are willing to pay for trash, there will always be opportunistic people willing to put out trash for them to buy. Buyers need to get smarter and stop buying into the play-to-earn Ponzi dream. And then I said, I think Illuvium did like millions of dollars of land sales before they even had a functional game. It's crazy to pump that much money into something without a product behind it or a team with a track record of successful products within the genre. Because I can get like kickstarting something where it's like, okay, this developer has made 3 games that I like that have lasted for 10 years and are fun. So before it's made, I will help them kickstart their 4th game. But like most of these blockchain game producers have like almost no experience, and maybe they'll be like, yeah, we hired some people from these teams, but like the actual people, as this guy was saying in this article, that like are calling the top shots are completely inexperienced and just running on Web3 hype, and that's why their game is so like illogically designed. But I don't know, why are people investing in that? That's sort of crazy to me. And also, I guess I have the hindsight of being an idiot that invested in a bunch of games that didn't pan out on Wax. But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
People need to learn their lesson that you shouldn't consider like experimental games an investment. That's just a crazy thing to be investing any sort of real money into. And at this point, like Web3 developers are kind of just cash grabbing the money made by people in Web3. If they're like the new Boss Fighters game is just like, okay, all these people are printing money on they're printing money from that other game, fucking Big Time. So they're like, let's take people's profits from Big Time and crowdfund this. And it might be successful, but it might not. But like, I don't know. You can also not pay $300 for a drop for a game that is barely out and has like maybe 30 or 40 active players. Like,
and even there, it's like I think we spent like $15, which is like that's reasonable for like a pre-game beta, and they did drop us stuff that potentially is worth a bunch more than that.
That's also not why I bought it though. I didn't buy it because I was like assuming that it's gonna be worth more money. I bought
that's
it.
More like, yeah, I was more kind of like using that as a like more free approach. Like
I got us early access to the game, so I bought it for the gameplay because I wanted to play the game.
It's like I only wanted to play. Same with the Big Time. Like I got that box that's listed for $312 or something just because I was playing for free. I never spent any money on Big Time. Oh my goodness, the cat's just got a new toy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think like the whole state of the Web3 gaming industry is not in a good place and not in a sustainable place. And like we've seen it fail so many times that like thinking that suddenly something's going to change from that because a developer has more money or is claiming to be AAA, like I don't think that changes the fact that this system just doesn't work 99% of the time. I don't think play to earn even works. Like maybe I feel like Rivals kind of works because it's like you earn NFTs, but you're not earning a token that you can just dump endlessly. If you could, Myth would be worthless at this point.
Yeah, for real. Like if you could earn Myth from playing Myth games, then yeah, Myth would be totally tanked.
That's also why I paid more than I would have for NFL Rivals because Blankos was like an actual fun game that I played every single day. So it's like, yeah, I'll pay $50 for a pack for a game that doesn't come out because I like the first game they made so much. It's literally my favorite Web3 game. So I feel like that was the last time I bought something before the game was out. After that, I was like, no longer will I ever kickstart shit. People are asking for hundreds of dollars for a game that doesn't exist. Like, go fuck yourself. I'll buy it when the game comes out if I like it. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I like Illuvium enough to pay several $100s for the land. I don't mind playing it for free, but like, I'm glad I didn't buy land because if I bought land, now I'd be forced to grind it. Same with Big Time, where like you feel like you have to get your money back for this super expensive investment and grind something where it's like, I don't know. I like playing games for fun, not like investing in them and making it a weird part-time job that I fucking end up resenting, like, which happened on a bunch of games on Wax where it's like, I don't want to fucking click this button anymore, but I'll lose money if I don't,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. He says, I think the big issue on Wax is not that many users want a whale thing or increase the value of their whole thing by pumping bags, continuing accumulating. If there was more of a competition on Wax for getting the most shares of everything instead of just the glory of selling on the top, for the most part, things generally wouldn't dip. Is the idea? I think in general, yeah. Selling the hype has totally become my meta though these days. After having done like NFT stuff for years now, it's like if there's a big drop or something like that boss fighters thing, right? If I buy that pack for $300, like my move will probably be to try to flip within the first week or two, you know, when the hype is at peak, when the values are still around that, just because I feel like that's always been, like, in retrospect, the move.
Not
like
always.
the times where that's true, not always.
Literally
but
the
times when
opposite for Big Time. If you sold your Big Time thing, you would have sold it for $30 like me.
That's true. And now it's listed for 10
I'd
times
say
that.
Big Time is more of the outlier than the fucking, like, the rule, though.
That's true. And that's kind of like what has me, like, partially wanting to get into the the boss fighters things, because I like the game, and it's by the same people who did it successfly with Big Time.
It's
but
not
the
by the same
concept
people
of,
that made
like,
Big Time. It's made by a completely different developer just on the same marketplace.
Oh, damn. I thought it was, like, part of the same, like, ecosystem.
No, Open Loot is, like, separate then. There's other games on Open Loot too, I think, right? Like, not just those two games. Open
There's
Loot
a couple,
is just,
yeah.
Open Loot's like, you know, Steam for Web3 games or whatever. It's just a marketplace that several games can come into.
Oh,
And they also
that's
have
cool,
World
yeah.
Shards. They have Shatterpoint.
World
they have
Shards.
the Desolation. But, like, I wouldn't say just because Big Time is successful, everything on Open Loot will be successful. I think they're just doing what Wax did, where it's like, okay,
Interesting.
everybody made a bunch of money on Alien World and Our Planet. Let's launch a bunch of shit like that so we can suck the money out of the people that made money from this. I feel like, not to say I like Boss Fighters, I think it's a fun game, but I feel like, you know, they're just going where the money is in Web3, which is what people did with Atomic
Yeah.
Hub and constantly advertising drops in Atomic Hub and Wax. And I do think Boss Fighters is already better than 95% of what Wax ever produced. If you like the game, like, might not be the most horrible thing to buy
Oh.
too.
If it was on Wax, I would 100% be buying into it. Like, I already have, like, what's it called? Like, the, already have the stuff ready to go for it on Wax.
I just think
you
at
know?
$300 inappropriate. Because at that point, it's not for fun.
Yeah.
That is an investment, and you're pricing your shit at an investment. So then, when people lose money, which they probably will eventually, you set them up for that loss. Like, if I buy
Yeah.
fucking $60 like a game for Diablo or $70 for Diablo, like,
Yeah.
I'm not like expecting to make money off that because it's within like the for fun threshold of spending $300. Like, no one's buying a game for $300 for fun. It's because you're getting to like kickstart the economy
Yeah.
for, which also, if you bought into Big Time, like all of that shit blew up, so it might for Boss Fighters. But again, you're buying it for a gamble because you're gambling on being profit. Like,
Yeah.
you're not buying that because
It's
it's
a
$300
huge
worth of
gamble.
fun, which I think is the problem. Is that everybody's trying to focus on the financial side of shit when games are supposed to be fun. And like, you'll never make a
Yeah.
long-term sustainable game if you're focused on the economy over the fun. I think even adding like an economy to Boss Fighters is like a mistake. Like, they should have just made it a fun game, but they couldn't sell fucking packs for $300 if there wasn't a token attached to it. So I get from
Yeah,
their
that's
perspective,
true.
they can make way more money doing it. And then they'll probably I don't know. Maybe people will end up getting burned. So
Yeah.
I understand why people complain
also,
about
the fact
that.
that there's no option to participate for less than 300.
You can play for free. That's what I'm saying. Like when this shit happens, don't go buy that drop for $300. Go play for free. If you like the game, you can now access boss fighters for free, which is what we're advertising. But like, I don't know. I think the whole other side of trying to be the big winner is like you're just gambling, like straight up putting money into a slot machine. Like maybe you'll win, but maybe you won't. And more people have lost than won in Web3 gaming by a very large margin. So I think you just have to be aware of that. And also be realistic. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm buying this because I really like this game and it's going to be the next game. It's like, no, you're buying this because you want to profit huge on getting in early on something. Like, I don't know. Unless you really do just have $300 to throw away and you're like, I don't care, I just want to support the developers. In that case, you can do it that way, but I feel like no one actually buys it expecting to never make that $300 back.
That's totally true. And I do like the game, but I don't know. 300 is too much for me, I think, too. Like, I would buy into it for like 30 to 60 maybe, but like, yeah, 300 is like you said, that's not a game, that's an investment.
I bought in it for 20 because that's what, like, I was like,
yeah, exactly. That was
that's perfect.
That was a price point where I was like, that's fine. And I feel like I'm excited that I got what I got for it, even if it never sells. It's like, cool. I have like a one of one like avatar and some cool like pre alpha or pre beta like skins. That's cool as shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
Quadrell says 300 is cheap for open loot apparently. People Quadrell says that 300 is on the cheap side for an open loop drop. It says open loot is all speculations only now.
Yeah, I think that's just a bad precedent to set, and it's completely unsustainable. And like, how many people outside of this small bubble of Web3 weirdos do you think are ever going to get into this stuff at those price points? And I don't think it's a lot. I do think Big Time has done a good job at attracting people, but I still don't think that's sustainable. Like, it's doing well now, but their economy's been launched for what, 6 months maybe? Like, hit me up in 4 years and tell me how Big Time's doing and if all that shit's worth what people are paying for right now. I highly doubt it, but maybe I'm just a hater-ass bitch. But yeah, I think developers being able to set that as a price point that people are buying is just completely unhealthy for the space. And the fact that that stuff will sell out probably just continues to further the problem. Like, so I think, again, I think buyers are the problem at this point. Like, we need to stop.
I'm part of that problem, dude. I like want one of those fucking packs. I want to participate in the early stages of that economy. Like, that's up my alley for sure. And I'm gonna be like the idiot who drops $300 and keeps the prices that high.
I feel like there's not even 600 people that play that game, and they're selling 600 packs. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I don't know. Like, even when I was playing it, like as the boss, I'm still fighting against like multiple people at the same time, which is like, what's appropriate is the $15 or $20 or whatever I already spent on it. Everything else is definitely just gambling.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing anything at those prices be sustainable. I've been playing video games for a very long time. Very rarely are people sustainably like throwing fucking $500 every couple of months at a video game to like keep playing it. Like maybe like the most hardcore addicts to mobile games, but like that's definitely not gonna. Those people. I don't know. That's not gonna work for a 3D VR game. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think it's all people who made some money on Big Time. I think that too, dude. I think it's lot of the people who made money.
Exactly what I was saying, but the same thing happened on Wax, and how many of those people, like Van and all these and us, that reinvested all of our earnings for games, like how did that turn out for us? It fucking didn't turn out well. So it's like we learned our lesson, but I can see it happening now in other chains where one thing becomes successful and everything leeches to it. But it's like if you keep buying in every new thing, eventually you're going to lose. Like you can't gamble and win that many times in a row. And maybe Boss Fighters will be fine. Maybe you'll win on that one, but like I don't know. You can't keep winning. Like, I mean, not every game. It
didn't fall apart anywhere near as fast as you thought it would. Like I was winning and rolling it over and letting it ride for months.
And then how's our Wax Arena stash doing? And how's our fucking all the other stuff we bought into that just made your money go bye-bye? I don't know. We had to learn the hard way, and I feel like everybody else is going to learn the hard way too, but I just didn't like the way that thing I read was where it was like all the the players are going to lose and the devs are going to win. I'm like, well, yeah, that's the way it should be, but like everybody needs to get that in their head. Not expecting it to be the other way is the problem. Like the fact that you're like, this is a bad investment for people. It's like, yeah, but like so should all games. So
Yeah.
like even
The players are
phrasing
gonna
that,
lose. I feel like the phrasing is wrong. No, the players are gonna pay to play a game that the devs make.
and they're going
Devs
to
make a good
overpay,
game,
but like
then the
that's kind
devs
of
are
on
gonna do
you
well.
because you're the fucking buyer. You can not buy something. Like it's all just gambling, trying to get in early. It's like buying into a meme coin that's been made 15 minutes ago on Solana. You might be the first person that buys and explodes, or the developer might own 90% of the liquidity and dump on you. You don't fucking know.
Yeah, I feel like we also saw what happens with game pieces, even by well-intentioned, well-funded projects like what is that one, Dead Drop or whatever it's called, the one that you bought the PFP for back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that one was like, it was like $50 or whatever to buy into, but then like, the aftermarket and the buyers went nuts and pumped that fucking price to like $500, and
I don't know
nobody
how
could
it's
afford to
doing.
get in. But then what happened is like they released a new asset that granted access to the game that could be bought for like 15, like for a reasonable price, because there isn't like gamers aren't going to spend $500 to play a game. That's crypto investor
And
shit.
look, I have an offer for $61. I could still sell it for what I paid for it, but
Look at that.
let's see what the floor is. 0.03 ETH is not bad for the floor.
No. See, and it's still cooking along.
Don't know what's going on with this game. I stopped following it, but like fucking the dude who's promoting it that was supposed to make it popular got fucking canceled. So I don't think this game's gonna. Kind of lost faith in the ability for this game.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on with Dr. Disrespect. I think he stepped down from the studio though. $10 hours ago, he hints at future possible things. He might stop streaming video games. So that's the.
Oh, Quadrell says it'll be a copy paste, potentially the economy of big time for the.
He's saying he sold to
on
other
Open
games,
Loop.
not necessarily that boss fighters did.
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect has shared a
Fixed him.
cryptic message that can be interpreted as he's suggesting he's either planning to resume streaming soon or not at all. So I guess he's not even been streaming. Ambiguous hints about his future plans was shared as he returned home from vacation that was prompted by him revealing the reason from his permanent Twitch ban in 2020. How recently is this article? I feel like he's talking about
Permanent
that
Twitch
now,
ban,
trying to get the
damn.
fucking heat off of him DMing fucking minors and shit. He's like, okay, well, like, let's talk about my Twitch ban now that he admitted to
Yeah.
exchanging inappropriate messages with a minor, characterizing
Oof.
that as the reason resulting in his 2020 Twitch exit. The now deleted statement still saw the 42-year-old content creator insist he did nothing illegal. He's calling video gaming streaming a snooze fest now that fucking nobody likes him.
That's like the opening of Bruno, where he gets kicked out of the fashion world, and he's like, "I realized that night that fashion was shallow and worthless. Like the industry was shallow, and I didn't want any part of it."
Yeah, that was the
Right when he gets kicked out.
part of the pitch for Dead Drop was this NFT game is being promoted by a guy with over 1 million followers that gets like 1 million views on every stream. That guy's not promoting the game anymore. So like, how you're going to get this into the hands of mainstream gaming, which is what I thought would happen, seems way less likely. But I don't know. Let's look up Dead Drop, see what's like. I still have access to it.
Dead Drop also was built by like successful developers, people who had worked on like major AAA delivered titles.
It wasn't
like,
very
not just
good,
titled,
though.
but like first person shooter titles.
I stopped playing it. It just wasn't very fun.
Also, isn't there another game called Dead Drop now, which is like the new Valve game?
No, that's Deadlock. So the last snapshot was 7 months ago.
Damn.
I don't know if they're just not working on it or what. They raised a lot of money.
Yeah,
They should
and
still be
even that
developing
doesn't mean shit apparently.
2 months ago.
A lot of
Where do we
money.
go from now?
So now
I
the
just think
dust
like
is settled
it's a
on
nice
the
example
situation.
to see this in to put context into like you're betting on someone who's never built a game when people who've like done it successfully for decades can't fucking pull this shit off in Web3.
I mean, it's hard to make a good game. Fucking
Yeah,
Call of
it's hard
Duty's
to make a
released a
game.
million games, and they still release game like the last World War II Call of Duty they released that I bought, and I stopped buying Call of Duty games. Fucking sucked. I'm gonna
Yeah.
switch this on so you can hear it. Check. All right. You can hear this, right?
Dr. Disrespect was no longer affiliated with Midnight Society in any way, shape, or form. A lot of us have a lot of questions, right? And Midnight Society themselves are going to be making a lot of decisions, some of which are actually more obvious than others. The community's asking a lot of questions, and we're going to go over some of those in this video, which is really about what's next for Dead Drop. For better or worse, guys, all eyes are on Midnight Society and Dead Drop right now, and obviously this is not the reason. This situation, this last week or so, nobody wanted this, right? Nobody wanted this to be true. Nobody was expecting this or is cheering for this. But for better or worse, there's now millions of eyes on what Midnight Society does in light of this situation and what Dead Drop does, how the game moves on from here. This is a really important moment in both Dead Drop and Midnight Society's what will be its history, right? There's all eyes are on this game right now in this company. For one reason or another, and the hope clearly is that Midnight Society can harness this and do their best to turn it into a positive, right, and put it out there and show.
I don't know how you turn that into a positive. How do you turn your fucking, one of your co-founders like sexually harassing minors on Twitch is a positive? I don't know about that.
No, that doesn't sound positive. That's a tall order to spin it.
See if there's some driver's key
packages, you know, with the skins that were related to Dr. Disrespect. Are those going to be changed, altered, something else given in their place? No answers here. Again, just thinking. Obviously, they have removed Dr. Disrespect from the company. It appears they don't want to associate with him at all, for obvious reasons, so that's something that I would anticipate. And then,
all right, this guy takes too long to explain shit. I'm not trying to watch 14 minutes. Let's just go to the Midnight Society website and see what like updates are.
Right.
Makers of Dead Drop, world's first vertical extraction shooter. Snapshot 7. So their last snapshot came out 7 months ago. They're not. Since the beginning, Dead Drop build has been playable. Fired. That's not true. I bought before you could play it. I had the fucking earliest early access. View jobs. Do they have streamer and face of the company as a job available?
Yeah. Are you a video game streamer with millions of followers?
So here's the last snapshot. They're supposed to have cars and shit. I haven't tried playing it to see it, but even when I was playing, like, it's hard to find matches with more than like 2 or 3 people, and it was the problem with all people. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to log in and see where it's at, but it sort of seems like they're just not really doing a whole lot. Do they have a Twitter? Let's see what they've said on Twitter recently. Kind of a bummer because I had high hopes for it. And obviously, like, the reason, this is one of the only games I've kickstarted in the past couple of years, and it's because they had developers from Halo, from Call of Duty, like, real fucking people.
And even then, it seems like even in this state, you can get your money back.
Their last post was July 26th, which is not what you want to see for Twitter. The new founders, Tess and Dead Drop, are so fun. I wish it was open to play all the time. So maybe it's not available to play all the time. You have to like to go in a play window. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like they've kind of hit a wall in development where, like, for a while it's like taking off. There's tournaments is playable. A bunch of people are streaming it. I applied for Off the Grid. They never got back to me. Off the Grid looks okay. It looks like it's going to destroy my computer graphics wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really like loot or like that's the other thing. Is I don't like the style of game that Like, I don't like the Tarkov style looter shooter game.
Yeah.
Hey, look, CryptoStash is still around and streaming it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
There's what's his face playing it? There we go. 3 months ago.
He just went down. He just went down.
We've already watched this video.
I'm watching with a sniper. You guys good? I think he just threw a smoke. He threw a smoke. Threw a smoke. I'm watching with a sniper though. He's going to your left. Shoot him. Dead. Woo-hoo-hoo. I love this sniper. I'm coming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looks good, but I feel like Dead Drop also looks pretty good, and like
Yeah.
you can release a game with good graphics and decent mechanics and still have it be a complete failure.
Definitely. It's not easy catching lightning in a bottle.
Not easy making any sort like
No.
so many games are failures. Like more often than not, games fail, which is why like investing in a game before it comes out is fucking crazy. Like especially as a player and not like maybe if you own part of the back end and you're like an actual real investor, but like investing in assets for a game that you expect to sell to people when the game becomes more popular, that's just a fucking crazy, like, why would you do that? In my opinion.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, it could be popular. You never know it's going to pop off, but I'll play it and I'll play it for free. But Concord, is that a game?
Yeah.
Bye-bye Concord? I don't know what Concord is, but Squadrel saying it's already over. Didn't hear about it, it's already done. Let's do another giveaway. I don't know. As negative as today's been, I'm still more bullish on NFT gaming than ever in the past, but I don't know. I just think play to earn is not it. Play to earn is not the future of gaming. It's not sustainable.
No.
It's attracting people that aren't interested in gaming and are only interested in fucking selling shit. That's not really the player base you should be trying to attract for a sustainable game. The second the earning goes away, then the player base fucking leaves, and then you're stuck with a game nobody wants to play.
Yep.
So they spent 6+ years making it close after 2 weeks of being released. That's crazy.
Shit.
Why would you not leave it open for longer than 2 weeks? If you spent 6 years making it, it doesn't feel like enough time to like
Right.
see if it's gonna be
Just
good.
ran out of all their money during the 6 years of development.
Rexinator, congrats.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Web3 gaming is getting to a better place. It just kind of makes me sad when I see every game pivoting into like a play to earn economy with a token. I'm just like, this doesn't like, even if your game's good, this is going to ruin your game like eventually. Trying to make a convoluted economy has worked long term 0 out of 0 times.
Yeah. You know Sony's making their own blockchain, like layer 2 on top of Ethereum.
How are you not on our list, right? Oh, your wallet is Rexinator123, I remember. I asked you that last time. I was like, how the fuck do we not? You watch our streams all the time, but you have a very easy to remember wallet, so I remembered it. Boom.
Ooh, the cats love their new toy.
Let's see if we can find a quick video on Concord. Yeah, I didn't even hear about that, but pretty crazy for like a major AAA developer to can a game after 2 weeks. Like that doesn't make sense. Concord game. Biggest flop in history. Maybe we should save this for tomorrow. I don't want to get flagged.
Yeah,
for
that
watching
seems
too many
like
videos.
yeah. This seems like a good one for tomorrow.
I'll put this in off the rails.
Quadrel engine chain is interesting. I do think that ultimately what we're gonna see is like what we're seeing with like developers, like big time developers, probably running their own chain, like what Mythical does. I would see, like I said, Sony's making their own blockchain as well. So I would imagine a lot of Sony products that are Web3 products would then be, native to the Sony blockchain. I think. The same way that like Blankos and NFL Rivals and anything else developed by the Mythical team would be natively on, Mythical chain, but that doesn't mean that it can't also be on OpenSea or on Ethereum mainnet and stuff.
Don't think a single fucking gamer gives a shit about what blockchain a game is on. All that matters is games. Yeah. Like, the chain is irrelevant. The game is what's relevant. So if they have a game that is a product people want to play, then they'll go to Engine. But like, just because the chain is cool or whatever, like, I don't think that has anything to do with whether or not people are going to be active on chains. Like, it's just all about gameplay. That's what all real gamers care about. All this other shit is just like weird blockchain heads like us care about. But if you're trying to push blockchain gaming to mainstream, which is going to be the thing you want to invest in, which I shouldn't even say invest in, but play. If you are going to invest in something or invest your time and money at any significant amount, you're hoping to invest in something that is long-term sustainable. And that's only going to be long-term sustainable if it's fun. So, like, I don't know. It's just, I don't think any specific chain is going to be the gaming chain. I think it's going to be, there will be very good games, and regardless of whatever chain they're on, the games will do well.
Yeah. Bitcoin also has NFTs and games for sure. Rexnator, if you want to see that stuff, it's like Ordinals is like a layer 2 on top of Bitcoin for NFTs. The Bitcoin birds, I have one of those. Like, that shit, that was an NFT on Bitcoin from fucking, I bought that like 6 years ago. Like, all of this shit exists on every blockchain. And the Bitcoin bird, I think, is probably worth like $800 or $900 still. Like, there's only 600 of them, or I haven't really checked on what those are worth, but either way, yes, there is definitely games, there's definitely NFTs, all that stuff on Bitcoin blockchain as well as on every blockchain. And at the end of the day, I think something like Engine, I'm less excited about than something like Immutable X, because Immutable X is more or less like a layer 2 for all of these other layer 1s, whereas Engine is like a layer 1 designed for NFTs. And in that direction, I think Wax has it licked as far as being a layer 1 for NFTs. Wax does it better. But as far as like what's going to be the like meta in the future, I'm not sure that layer 1 blockchains to encompass all gaming is like a feasible like goal. I think it's more like layer 2s and a network of layer 2s that, like, every company can have their own like native chain assets and all that shit is much more likely to me. I don't ever see a company as big as like Sony putting their stuff into like some other like a blockchain that isn't like either partially owned or controlled by them, because that's just like not something they would do as a studio. So as a big company, I think we're going to see just more proprietary chains, stuff like Mythical Chain, but
they also want control over the chain too. Like, they don't want people to be doing DeFi and like, I don't know. I don't think they're going to have custodial wallets and shit. Like, it's not going to be like,
basically if something goes wrong with a game or with a leak or a hack, they want to be able to roll back what happened directly on chain and fix it and be in control of that. But that doesn't mean that you won't also be able to connect those chains to open chains and like participate through the DeFi avenue.
I don't know what the incentive for a major developer would to be let you take your shit off to marketplaces where they don't get a cut of it. Like, I don't think that's happening. Why would they? Why would you let people take assets off of your closed marketplace where you get a percentage of every trade and take it to a marketplace where you don't? Like, why would they do that?
Yeah, probably not, I guess. There would have to be like a demand for that in the actual community of people playing the game. And
I think the only people that care about that are crazy crypto nerds, and it's not the average gamer. Like, people are fine with Steam for the most part, trading shit for money they can't even take out, like for Counter-Strike skins and shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, a subchain for Oasis. I know for sure that Sony is already developing a like version of the Optimism stack for Ethereum. They're building their own layer 2 Ethereum chain. They have a weird name for it too, but I'm sure if you Google like Sony Ethereum layer 2, you'll find it. Like, they announced it publicly already. This is not like crazy brand new news, but it is pretty big implication. Like, I guess there's also like BlackRock has their own like blockchain plans too to build their own chain. It's also a layer 2 on Ethereum. So
Ooh, Tree
I think
Frog
overwhelmingly,
Nada.
like big business and like established like institutions are going to build their stuff on top of Ethereum because they're already starting to do that, you know? Like IBM, what is it? Coinbase, Sony, BlackRock, all of those companies have built layer 2s on top of Ethereum.
I don't think it makes sense to try to build like an EOSIO sidechain at this point. Like the support just isn't there, the developers aren't there, the open source stuff just compared to Ethereum, it doesn't make sense why you'd. Sucks because like EOSIO is kind of better tech as far as like you can probably push more transactions for less money overall, but like doesn't really matter if all the developers are developing for Ethereum and Ethereum layer 2 stuff, which is kind of the case. EOS is a complete fucking mess. Like EOS EOS being what it is kind of tanked wax in my opinion. Like, I don't know. Sonium is the name of their chain. Development of
that sounds right.
blockchain Sonium, aiming for a world where Web3 use cases are part of daily life. Tokyo, Japan. Sony Block Solutions Labs PTE Ltd. Headquarter is in Singapore. I don't care who the chairman is. Hereafter, Sony Block Solutions Labs of the Sony Group has developed the blockchain Sonium, which is the infrastructure network that forms the basis of Web3. In the future, we will explore and develop a plan to make the network available to the public and aim to create new services by leveraging the various businesses and IP within the Sony Group so that Sonium becomes an infrastructure that everyone can use on a daily basis. While the internet has contributed to improving the convenience worldwide, it has led to the centralization of a huge amount of information and the economic sphere online. Web3 makes it possible to decentralize that concentrated power. Today, Web3 faces two challenges. The current community of Web3 technology and its services is limited to a few core users, and there are numerous use cases that have yet to gain traction to go mainstream with the general public. The creation of killer use cases is eagerly awaited. Sony Block Labs will continue to explore the provision and development of the blockchain Sonium in the future. Sonium is a public blockchain with an open network that anyone can participate in. By developing blockchain, which is the basic infrastructure of Web3, we will be able to provide comprehensive Web3 solutions from the infrastructure to the application layer rather than just providing partial services. End users will be able to access Sonium through applications that are compatible with Sonium's network and will be able to interact with Web3 games and NFT marketplaces provided by each app, as well as entertainment-related services. By utilizing blockchain technology, activity history within apps is managed in a more decentralized and autonomous manner than on the traditional internet. Each app can be used by accessing it from your digital wallet. In addition to the existing Web3 services that will be compatible with Sonium's future, we'll investigate how new services that collaborate with businesses within the Sony Group can be developed as Sonium-compatible apps. We will work to create use cases that can spark the interest of people who have never used Web3 services. Sonium's Web3 technology can support the expansion of creators' potential and strengthen engagement with fan communities. Specifically, we'll explore protecting the rights of content created by creators, new mechanisms for returning profits to support creators and fans, and opportunities for creators to be active across the digital and real worlds. For developers and creators using Sonium, we'll provide tools and environments that are easy to use, efficient, and cost-effective. We are also planning to release a Sonium testnet for app developers soon. The purpose of this testnet is to co-create applications using Sonium's technology, developers inside and outside the Sony Group. In the future, we will continue to work towards making Sonium mainnet publicly available, alongside the apps developed on the testnet. Mainnet will allow users to freely access various applications and Web3 services. Furthermore, by utilizing Web3 services such as crypto asset trading services operated by Sony's group S-Blocks Incorporated, and adding new value to various business and IP developed by the Sony Group, we aim to create apps that can be used daily by people who have never had the opportunity to experience Web3, and to build a world where Web3 services permeate people's daily lives.
So it's basically like the base chain, the way that like Coinbase launched the base chain. It's literally the exact same Like they're in private development right now. Eventually, it'll be made public, and then on day one, you'll be able to bridge your shit into the Sonium chain, and there can be a version of Uniswap and Curve and all the existing like ETH DeFi staples already operating there, and yeah, I feel like that's kind of more realistically the future of blockchain is just like layer 2 solutions built on top of like Bitcoin and Ethereum versus like a bunch of layer 1s out there. Like Solana seems like a layer 1 for meme coin trading to me, which is kind of cool, I guess, if you're here for the meme coins. But other than that, I think everything's pretty much built on Ethereum or Bitcoin. Cuz that's where big institutional money is going to research and develop and build, and unlikely that kind of attention gets split between multiple technologies. So,
I don't hate Solana as much as I used to now that they have Neon Heroes. Neon Heroes, I'm like, okay, the Solana chain, they've got some stuff on it. Probably play
That's
Neon
true.
Heroes this Friday too. I think the beta started today. Let's see. Let me see the announcements. What are you announcing? It says pre-alpha playtest 3 is open. Hello heroes, the time is here. The Battle Dome has reopened. The game's largest update is now available. We've been hard at work and we hope that you enjoyed the latest version of the game. If you're still in pre-alpha and you may experience a bug during the playtest, please report it in playtest. But here, I'll do a copy the link. Yeah, I actually might play it after stream because I want to start doing the daily missions. Last time I got a decent amount of tokens. Let's see if anybody. I think I have a referral. If anybody's trying to get into it, let me see if I can find my referral. Anybody's trying to get into it. Referral. It's still 103 degrees outside here. The weather fucking sucks this week. It's still 103. I'm also getting echoes through your mic again, Max.
Huh. Let me turn this down, maybe. That should do it.
I don't know. The missions is just join the tournament. They don't have anything else. Usually they used to have like a mission portal. Oh, there we go. Should we try to join the tournament, Quadrell, or do you have a tournament team? That's literally the link from their announcement, Quadrell, that they posted in Discord today. If that's the wrong link, go tell their moderators. Wrong link. I'm still getting echoes from your mic too.
What? Let me check.
I think your gain is just too high because I can hear you breathing and like you hear pops like the stuff was really like that. I just heard a very loud breathe into the mic. That's generally because your gain is too high. I need to sign into my personal Twitter.
Let me. There we go.
I didn't know
Maybe
about the Sony blockchain
less.
though. The Sony blockchain thing's pretty cool.
Yeah, right? Once that goes public, I'm going to be interested in trying to do some day one stuff like I did on Base. That was really, really cool. On Base Chain day one, I made some pretty good...
Especially if it's a public blockchain. I wasn't expecting it to... They say public in there a lot, so I feel like that should mean you can have a decentralized wallet. Invite a friend. Okay.
I think so.
Here is my referral code if anybody wants to join. It's just PolishDog90. Wow, I could have just told you that without logging in and stuff. If anybody is new and wants to play... Also, we're going to play Neon Heroes on Friday, so if you want to join us, use me as your referral code. I thought it was going to give me like a full link for people to click on. Also, don't forget to sign in with your wallet. Max forgot to do that and he didn't get any airdrop.
Yeah, as dumb.
How do I, speaking of, how do I fucking sign with my wallet?
Maybe it's already connected. I still have to do mine.
Hello, Max. What? I don't know. Hopefully it's already linked. I don't know exactly how you do that.
Maybe under your account you can see like. Hi, kitty.
Last time I thought it was in the mission portal. Yeah, you can get meows for connecting Google, connecting Twitter, Discord, following Max, who must be somebody that works. Figure this out on Friday, maybe. Yeah, we're gonna do that on Friday. It's a fun game too. Probably my favorite current Web3 game.
There's a little kitty here. Oh yeah, baby.
And yeah, I know the sneak peek was the version before the airdrop 3 version, but they at 5:59 a.m. today said download the game now, and that link is what I posted in the chat. So if that's the wrong link, their official announcement in Discord gave you the wrong link. Since that happened about 12 hours ago, I'd assume that people would have informed them by now if that was the wrong link. But it is weird that it's the sneak peek and not the playtest, because they do usually change the name in those. All right, let's do this last giveaway. Thanks for hanging, everybody. Been kind of a long stream. We've been going for like 3 hours. We'll stream again tomorrow for Off the Rails. Tomorrow is football too. Might have to end earlier tomorrow because I want to watch the football game tomorrow night. It's probably going to be at 6 p.m. if I had to guess. Which is about when we're ending tonight, so I mean, that's fine. NFL, back at it.
These little kitties.
Probably gonna be a new program in Rivals soon. Probably be a new one once the season starts. I've been considering selling all my Rivals stuff though. I'm at the point where like consistently not qualifying for the good rewards, and you can get the bad rewards for not having hundreds of dollars worth of cards. So I might sell my hundreds of dollars worth of cards and just play with the way worse team and still get the same rewards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A legendary augment, that's badass. I saw like, I got the augments that came with like the sneak peek, and I put that on all my characters, but I haven't really messed around with the augments besides the default one you get. Winterfell, congrats. We'll give Winterfell 1 million woof, and since it's our last one of the day, we'll give some other people some woof too. Winterfell gets 1 million. Gotta give some of this woof away before it tanks in price. Caesar, we will give 750,000. I pasted that wrong. Oh, I got it.
Oh, Marcy sees the kitties fighting. She's gonna intervene.
It's not really worth that much less, but I don't know. It kind of went crazy for a long time too. I feel like it's just coming back to reality.
Yeah, this is the first time it's really correcting after having like flown up like.
Also, while the entire crypto market was going down, it was going up, which doesn't really make sense. Buzz King's gonna get 500k.
I'm still holding. Like the stuff that I took out of the pool, I kept the wolf side. I didn't sell it.
Mahala will get 250k. Selling it and moving it into OVN was a great move for me, though.
Yeah, OVN is still like one of my favorite positions. You can still
It's like the only thing that's been profitable for me over the past couple of months.
I still make like $60 a day in that farm easily. every day on autopilot. I recommended that one before their pre-sale. That one I was on since like day fucking 0.
All right. I think that's going to be, we gave it out to 6 people. 6 out of 16.
Yeah, the
that's a
Whoopie
pretty
High
good
was
percentage.
close to $1.69, right?
Yeah. Well, for $1 million.
For a hot. Yeah, for $1 million.
Not for one. If that was one was worth that, I would have been fucking a billionaire.
A trillionaire.
20% HP with each kill. That seems like super overpowered. If you're killing
Yeah,
people.
what's that about?
If you're not killing people, it doesn't help much. All right. We will raid into Mahala. Doing some marbles. He's probably
Nice.
giving stuff away. Celebrate September. Presented by Valorant. I'm Mahala. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you.
Hit us up in Discord if you want to chat in between now and then. Or if you want to submit any videos for Off the Rails for us to watch tomorrow. We've got a channel for that in Discord. But have a good night, everybody. Hopefully you're not burning like we are in California. It's so hot.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
All right. Raided into Mahala.